We the people marching in the rain, chasing shadows, breaking chains. Hands up high, fists to the sky, while we run in circles, while we let it slide. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Broken glass, dreams on the floor, voices muffled behind. Stone hearts cracking under pressure, truth be the sledge. Paws moving on the board, king still heads. There won't fall between us, breaks of dread, but we the people stand tall and say, we the people, don't let them divide us. Holding hands, let the love unite us. Chains of fear, they can't confine us. We the people, they'll never rewrite us. Red tape strangling creeps, the puppeteer telling stories in our ears, but the facts unclear. They build towers from tears, prophets persevere. We bulldoze the hate, make the future appear. We the people, don't let them divide us. Holding hands, let the love unite us. Chains of fear, they can't confine us. We the people, they'll never rewrite us. Marching steps like a baseline thought. Voices rising, fists up, make them jump. Every creed, every hue makes the palette. We the art, the movement, the ballad. We the people, don't let them divide us. Holding hands, let the love unite us. Chains of fear, they can't confine us. We the people, they'll never rewrite us. Stone hearts cracking under pressure, truth be the sledge. Paws moving on the board, king still heads. There won't fall between us, breaks of dread, but we the people stand tall and say, we the people, don't let them divide us. Holding hands, let the love unite us. Chains of fear, they can't confine us. We the people, they'll never rewrite us. Red tape strangling creeps, the puppeteer telling stories in our ears, but the facts unclear. They build towers from tears, prophets persevere. We bulldoze the hate, make the future appear. We the people, don't let them divide us. Holding hands, let the love unite us. Chains of fear, they can't confine us. We the people, they'll never rewrite us. Marching steps like a baseline thought. Voices rising, fists up, make them jump. Every creed, every hue makes the palette. We the art, the movement, the ballad. We the people, don't let them divide us. Holding hands, let the love unite us. Chains of fear, they can't confine us. We the people, they'll never rewrite us. We the people marching in the rain, chasing shadows, breaking chains. Hands up high, fists to the sky while we run in circles, while we let it slide. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Broken glass, dreams on the floor. Voices muffled behind closed doors. We scream, we shout, but do they hear the fire's close? But they show no fear. Stand up tall, take the fight. Turn the dark into light. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Broken glass, dreams on the floor. Voices muffled behind closed doors. We scream, we shout, but do they hear the fire's close? But they show no fear. Stand up tall, take the fight. Turn the dark into light. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Heavy bass thump like a heartbeat pounding. Drums like thunder, voices resounding. Rise up, the time is now. We'll rewrite the story, we'll show them how. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Hey! We the people, we gotta do better. We gotta do better.
All right. Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday morning. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Welcome back to the cafe, guys. We are open for business. Thank you guys for being here today. Please share this out. Please hit the like button. And it is Sunday, everybody, guys. We're going to be jumping onto a little bit of everything and catching up with what is going on in the world. Just a few things. The world's going crazy, that's for sure. For sure. So quite a few things going on out there. We're going to be catching up on different cases we've looked at, different things happening. So that's what it's all about today. Let's get caught up and talk about it for sure. Come on in and grab a seat, get comfortable, hit that like button, share this out, please, if you will. That being said, you guys know what comes next. Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing weekend, and just being the amazing peeps that you are. So thank you guys for joining us today. Hit the like button on your way through the door. Welcome back to the cafe. and happy Sunday. Great to see you guys. We're gonna be bouncing on a few different subjects today. Bing bang boom, like a pinball, bouncing off them things inside there, catching up with some stuff, putting our voices out on some different things and opinions and feelings. There is a link pinned for anybody that wants to join us. Of course, they're always welcome. Let me see who we got joining us in the chat first and foremost. Welcome back, Miss Meg. Great to see you, Meg P. Miss Diane Dagburn, Johnny Gobble. Guys, you have to excuse me. I ended up at the hospital last night, so I'm a little off. Been having breathing issues, so. Siggy and Mike, welcome back to you. Angel D, my favorite Aussie. Great to see you. Miss Diane, again, great to see you. Meg P, the megastar. Wade Bird, 77. Thank you for joining us. Angel D. I already said that, sorry. One Made Nuts in the house. Eddie, great to see you, bud. Miss Lucci, always happy to have you here. Hemisphere, what's up, bud? Good to see you. Miss Krista, been missing you as well. Witchy, welcome back to you. Is it a feature on your YouTube or do you use a Fiverr? Congrats, Miss Angel. 2 months. Good Lord, it's been way longer than 2 months. That's crazy. Miss Brandy B, our OG in the house. Good to see you, Brandy. Congrats, though, Angel. I know it's been more than 2 months for sure. Miss Tandy, welcome back. Good to see you today. The Done One, great to see you. Oh, you don't like the other songs? I have a bunch of different ones I've been putting out that I've been. Where am I getting? I create those with an AI app that I have. I write the lyrics out and I'll throw them in there, and then it picks, puts some music to it based on what type of music I want, and it puts it all together. I cheat. Yes, guys, go check out our TikTok. Thank you, Miss Brandy. Appreciate you very much. Good morning, Brenda Lance. Good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. If you're talking to me, Diane, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I went by. It's Michelle F. Welcome. I'll explain it in a minute, you guys. It's called. I'll drop it to you in Discord. Hold on. Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, come on in. Yeah, I was gonna pull up some of that to show some of what's going on there for Charlie Kirk's memorial service to that as well. Welcome, Stuart Jones. Good to see you. Bemmy Rose. Where's Bemmy at? I didn't see Bemmy. No problem, Krista. Brandy had to put the link up, Krista. It's up here. See again, Mike. Great to see you again. Wade Bird. Miss Lucci Lou. I haven't heard from Dinky personally. I hope he's okay. Oh, under Brenda. Okay. Thank you, Krista. So that's why I wasn't here yesterday. Um, hold on. Brenda Lynch is okay. Brenda Lynch is Bammy. That's awesome. Elizabeth Wagner, welcome. Good to see you. Saigon Kick. My band used to, the one band I played in back in 92 or 91 or 92. That was one of the cover songs we played. Love is on the Way by Saigon Kick. I got to sing it. How about that one? Haven't heard that name in a long time. Crazy stuff. Great band, though. Yeah, we were a little bit of a hair band type group back in the day. Glam rock, whatever you want to call it. Back in the days. Wow. No, it's okay, Brenda. Don't worry about that, dear. Or Bemmy. Whatever. No problems. WB, good to see you today. Guys, please make sure you hit the like button on your way through the door. Oh, yeah, we did quite a few of them type songs back in the day, Witchy. Quite a few. CZ, hello and welcome. Good God, CZ, I'm so sorry. Nothing but thoughts and prayers. Please, everybody, make sure to keep CZ in your thoughts and prayers. Her and her family in every aspect. I feel so horrible, CZ. That's horrifying. God bless, dear. I'll definitely keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Your whole family. Jeez, so horrible, so sad. Mm. Let me see here. Yes, absolute deepest apologies and condolences, CZ. That's so horrible. I didn't get a chance to, Brandy. Yesterday was a rough day. Bolted Wolf, good to see you. Yeah, still streaming, my friend. Still streaming. So yesterday, um, I've been inflamed. You guys have heard me making those weird coughing noises and stuff all the time, and it flared up really bad. I woke up yesterday. I couldn't catch my breath. Couldn't take a breath in, out. Um, got through that part of it. Got through most of the day, but yesterday afternoon, I couldn't handle it anymore. Um, and they ended up calling an ambulance, and I went into the hospital in an ambulance in the emergency room. I got home about 1 o'clock, about 12:30, 1 o'clock this morning, I think it was. So that's where I was yesterday. It's been a rough day or so. It's been interesting. You're absolutely so welcome, CZ. Never have to thank for that. So sorry for your loss, truly. Absolutely. Absolutely. So sorry to hear, hon. So sorry. That's horrible. Oh, thank you, Meg. I appreciate it, hon. Thank you as well, Wishy. Excuse me. So please excuse me doing that until I get this medication run through me. And it sucks because they gave me Moonlight Welcome. They gave me medication that my pharmacy that I always go to is closed on Sundays. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are at least. They were supposed to be opening up, but I don't know. I don't believe they do. About what, Krista? Yeah, yeah, I get it, Meg. That's horrible, horrible. It messes with everything, you know. I think the weather change here got really cold, and this happened and that happened, and it just caused a bunch of stuff. So, good morning, Mary. Great to see you. Thank you so much, CZ. I appreciate that too. I do. It means a lot. I see people disappear when I'm not here for a day or so, and then they don't come back. It's like I'm sorry I can't be here every single day. Sometimes, you know, it happens. I'll be okay, Krista. Thank you, though, hon. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Just waiting to make sure everybody's here before we get kicking. Well, I don't mind that the fall is here. It's just how it happened, and everything was so quick. So, pretty wild. In the allergy stuff, yeah. 43 peeps, 41 likes. We're catching up. So it was an interesting day yesterday. My grandfather or my granddaughter was all weirded out because the ambulance showed up, and I even asked them, "Don't come flying lights and sirens, you know, all this and that." They didn't listen. You could hear them coming down the road. They did kill the siren when they got close to the house, but the lights were still flipping, you know. um, and then off we go, and I spent the rest of the night there. It was so fun. Absolutely, CD. God bless. God bless, hon. I'm so sorry you've been through this. It's horrible to lose any loved one, but a parent and a child are the, you know, it's just those are the worst ones. I'm sorry. I just feel like they are. So you're in my totally in my thoughts and prayers. You know that. No, hold on. What's up, little one? Or all right, sorry. It's the first time she's seen me since I went to the hospital, so she was freaked out bad. Thank you, Meg. Thank you. Yes. No, no, no. You'd think it would be with what they charge. Let's see. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Grab a spot. Get comfortable. You guys, I've been looking around. The world is going crazy. People are going nuts. What's up, Kent? Good to see you, my friend. Going crazy, huh? Yeah. All right, guys. Look, we've got just a few more minutes. I'm waiting to get started. See how many more people jump in here. So give me just a minute. I gotta go grab a drink. I'll be right. Bear with me.
Time is now. Rewrite the story, we'll show them how. We the people marching in the rain, chasing shadows, breaking chains. Hands up high, fists to the sky, while we run in circles, while we let it slide. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Broken glass, dreams on the floor. Voices muffled behind closed doors. We scream, we shout, but do they hear? The fire's close, but they show no fear. Stand up tall, take the fight, turn the dark into light. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Broken glass, dreams on the floor. Voices muffled behind closed doors. We scream, we shout, but do they hear? The fire's close, but they show no fear. Stand up tall, take the fight, turn the dark into light. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. Heavy bass thump like a heartbeat pounding. Drums like thunder, voices resounding. Rise up, the time is now. We'll rewrite the story, we'll show them how. We the people, we gotta do better. Torn apart, but we can pull it together. Echoes in the streets, hearts in the weather. We the people, we gotta do better. We the people.
All right, I am back. Sorry, everybody. Brandy Bees, yeah, I think we got everybody. So, Mark Schumann, great to see you, my friend. Thank you to the mods for joining me today. Appreciate you very much. All right, guys, give me a minute here to get this up and loaded. Oh, it looks like Jimmy Kimmel actually was fired from ABC now. Wow. 1 minute. Okay, my wife yelled something at me. 1 second here. Let's see. Trying to pull something up. Give me a minute. Bear with me. Hang on. Bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to get something to load in. It's struggling a little bit. Come on, load up, load up, load up. Great to see you, Mark, again. Yeah, I saw it this morning, Meg. They said like 100,000. Now we've already had some issues go on. There was somebody that they arrested. There's Jesse. That was that yesterday, I think, at the site for the memorial. Found with a gun that supposedly worked security for somebody else. Excuse me. Other people speaking out about having security worries, which I don't blame them. So let's see what we got here. And yes, Mr. Jesse, we are. There is a link pin. It's a really sad day, guys. I've been scanning through stuff all morning. I got up really early today. People are going crazy, and I mean crazy. I don't know if anybody saw the. Has anybody seen the statement that Kid Rock, the musician Kid Rock, made? Did anybody see that? We're talking about a combination of different things today, Jesse. Again, you're always welcome to join us, bud. Miss Paula, great to see you. It was interesting. It was interesting, you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the memorial here at some point. There's a musicians playing right now and stuff like that. It's a big deal. It should be. It should be celebrated. Any person's life should be celebrated. So give me a second here. I'm going to pull up this other thing, you guys. I wanted you guys to see this. I thought it was quite interesting that Kid Rock, of all people, put out this statement through a news platform. And I'm not I'm a musician. I love music, other musicians, period. So hold on a minute here. Not everybody probably likes him. I understand. Not everybody, it doesn't matter. He's a person, whether he's a musician or not, he's just another person. But a lot of people have judged him for years and called him that he was racist, that he was this, that he was that. But people not knowing anything about him, the man's not at all. He's got children that are mixed and grandchildren that are mixed and things like that. So, I'm trying to find my download, but this was interesting. Let me see. Here we go. I thought this was, my wife actually pointed this out to me. I was like, oh, interesting. There's a lot of people been speaking out. Famous people. Sylvester Stallone spoke out. He went off on whatchamacallit. And yeah, it's been interesting. I have another one. Rob Schneider, the comedian, he put out a statement too. Michelle F., welcome. Good to see ya. That's crazy. That's crazy, Meg. Excuse me. All right, let's see what we got here, guys. And again, you don't have to support or not support this guy. It's just an interesting statement that he made, I thought. Interesting. All right, here we go. And whether you agree or disagree, we can do that in here, remember? It's all good. Yes, sir. Eddie. Yes, sir. You are correct, my friend.
Fox News Alert, we just obtained new pictures from Charlie Kirk's vigil at the University of South Carolina, where hundreds of students gathered in the streets holding American flags and shining flashlights on their phones. And here's a live shot at the University of Texas, where another vigil is about to get underway. Let's bring in Kid Rock. Kid, one of the things you said on my show a little while back really stuck with me, that you played the inauguration of Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Speak to that and where we are now as a country.
Yeah, not only that, Jesse. I actually thought about that before I came on here. I was like, I didn't even vote for Obama, but they wanted to have kind of an inclusive event. They called me as a more conservative guy to play it. I'm like, sure, I'll respect our presidency. I'll go play it. And then just recently, took Bill Maher to the White House for dinner, one of Trump's biggest adversaries. And if it wasn't for Fox News and some social media, nobody would hear about it.
Now, what I want so that everybody understands is he's basically condemning mainstream media and what they have done to the country by doing the things that we've been discussing lately. That's why I thought this was an interesting statement for you guys to hear.
Trying to do something positive to bring this country together. And I've said it and I'll say it again because I think it needs to be echoed until they get it through their fat skulls. The mainstream media is freaking public enemy number one right now. Just the clips you just ran of these people from the New York Times and these other nut houses they call media establishments. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. I mean, and then they say to, Charlie Kirk, God bless him, by the way, his wife, kids, that, he's inciting this, he's inciting that. I'm someone who understands better than anyone as being a very vocal Trump supporter from day one. They've called me a racist Nazi for years now. I mean, go look up a few facts about my life, my children, where everything. But other people start to echo this. Just people who write dumb articles who think, I'm trash and I hate my music, and they say he's just a racist Nazi. And, this starts to build and build and build. So you get these nut house kids who are doing nothing but playing video games, watching these occult movies that are all over our streaming services, that won't go outside to play any sports or anything. And, then they think they're going to do something good. I'm going to go kill a Nazi. I'm going to go kill a racist. And they're literally mentally deranged. We need to bring the freaking nut houses back.
Yeah, you're incentivizing these loner kids to take shots so they can be heroes. And then every time after it happens, kid, they say, oh, we all have to come together. We all, both sides are violent, both sides, and then they just move on and start calling us fascist again.
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of my liberal friends say it, and they're exactly right. Like, you don't want to mess with us people. We have the guns. We know how to use them. Like, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants an all-out war. We understand that everyone on the left is not sick, but there are enough people in the media and enough of these crazy liberals to that just create this big echo chamber. And I'm not saying there aren't crazy right wingers that do some of this too. There's a little bit of guilty on both sides, but these people, I mean, they're supposed to be this inclusive, this, that, and the other. And they're the ones that don't want to talk and get along with anyone, just don't even want to sit down and break bread. I mean, I'm in this business where some of my friends, people I've had big hits with, call me with this whack out stuff all the time.
Yeah, we got to start listening to each other and respect one another. Is there any message you want to get across real quickly to people that are still vandalizing vigils and celebrating this murder?
Yeah, you're going to keep it up. You're going to run into the wrong people. Yeah. Some people I know.
Yeah.
And aren't going to play that mess. And it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be very ugly.
And we don't want it to get that way. And it shouldn't get that way. But it's throttling towards a very dangerous place, and we have to do something to prevent that. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page.
I thought that was interesting as hell. Welcome, Beach Babe. Good to see you. Yes, Jesse. And like we've been saying, you guys, power versus the people, folks. The media is what has brought this to where we're at, in my opinion. We've been saying this for a while now, you guys. It's crazy. Crazy. We're all one united front, folks. We need to keep it that way. We need to bring it back together. It is what it is. Just saying. Typically unique. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Come on in, everybody. Grab a seat. So, yeah, there's people being fired left and right. The situation is quite interesting too. Hold on a minute here. I don't know if you guys have seen this story that there was a nurse. Hang on a minute here. there was a nurse suspended for reporting a doctor that was celebrating Charlie being murdered. And so she reports him. She gets suspended. What the hell? You know what I mean? It's nuts. But he gets grow up America. Right, Sparrow. Right. Welcome, Sparrow, by the way. Miss Kim, welcome. Good to see you. Come on in, guys. Let me find this here, guys. Where did it go? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, this happened in Jersey, I do believe. Let me give you guys a heads up. Good morning, or I'm sorry, for you, good evening. Mr. Schul, how are you today, sir? It's been a while. We've missed you.
Yeah, I'm doing not bad. I'm in my rental property again, so I don't have my mic with me. I hope.
No, you sound good.
Okay.
Sound good. Yeah, I see the background there. I like that stairwell or whatever that is back there. It's pretty neat looking. Welcome, Elizabeth. So this is the kind of thing that it's insane to me, and it shouldn't be allowed. But check it out.
After calling out a doctor who was suspended from her job after calling out a doctor who allegedly said Charlie Kirk deserved to die. The hospital saying, quote, both the doctor and the nurse were placed on suspension to allow time for a thorough and fair investigation following our standard protocol. And in the interest of everyone's safety, including their own, contrary to certain media reports, the nurse was not fired. That nurse, Lexi Kuntzel, along with her...
She hasn't been fired yet. That's the statement. Yet. Okay. This is not good.
Attorney John Paul Deal joins us now. Lexi, thanks so much. I'll get to you in a second, John. But Lexi, are you fired?
No, I'm not fired as of right now. Right now, I am suspended indefinitely unpaid.
Why?
So I walked into the nurse's station and I just had learned about Charlie Kirk. I saw this guy. I didn't know who he was at the time. And he was standing there celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, saying how he deserved it. He hated Charlie Kirk and he had it coming to him. And
so you love Charlie Kirk. You didn't just want to wear of him.
I loved,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of Charlie Kirk. My first retweet in 2018 it was like my first blue checkmark retweet was Charlie Kirk. I was a couple years out of college and loved him ever since.
You're aghast at this. And what'd you say?
So I looked down at his badge because I didn't know, what job, if he was a doctor, a nurse, a tech, never saw him before. I looked down, I see his badge and it says doctor. And I said, you're a doctor? I said, how are you saying this as a doctor that someone deserved to die? I mean, to me, I was just mind blown. And yeah,
and everything went silent. You go to your manager. Your manager was understanding, but told you to go home.
Yes.
Then you posted something online, and then you find out you're suspended. I want to bring in your lawyer now. And John, could you tell me how we we find out her true status, and how do we make sure she gets her job back?
Yeah, so look, there are laws under various states, including New Jersey, where people like Lexi, nurses, healthcare professionals, can push back against conduct that implicates patient safety and welfare. And so Lexi's filed a lawsuit, and I'll be happy to be representing her in that lawsuit, essentially saying, look, this doctor took a Hippocratic oath. He's under ethical standards to do no harm. And instead, what he said is, I hate Charlie Kirk. He had it coming, and he deserved it. Now, that calls into question patient care and patient safety. If somebody else, let's say Charlie Kirk himself, let's say somebody with his views, somebody who was a supporter came in to that surgeon's emergency room or operating room, would that doctor say, well, I'm not going to treat him, he deserved it?
Right.
That's what I'm kind of worried about with people that do stuff like that. That's a scary flippant thought, folks. Just thinking about this is a man who saves lives for a living. To make a statement like that, wow. I was just kind of shocked. Just saying.
And I'm not shocked. I mean, this is
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not shocked, but it's like
You're living in rural Illinois, though, right?
this happened.
Rural Ohio.
I'm in
Ohio?
northeast rural Ohio. Yeah, and this is in Jersey that this happened. So I guess
But I mean, in Canada, this is just the way it works. The far left controls the government, controls everything. If you go into any hospital, any school, any government building, it's a safe place for like-minded people. And when I say like-minded, I mean ultra left, and they would all be dancing. I can see people from where I'm from dancing on Charlie's grave on social media, and they think it's normal. And
it's not good. It's not good.
I got a text message this morning from a friend saying, my friend says, I like Charlie Kirk. I'm not religious, and I don't usually like religious people, but I like Charlie Kirk. And I said to my friend, I said, I see where you're coming from, but the new religion is politics. I mean, there's no bigger zealots out there today than people that are hardcore left or hardcore right. It doesn't matter whether it's left or right, but if you're hard into it and you don't see humanity in the other side, that's every bit as bad as being a religious zealot.
That's the issue right there. Agreed, WB. People need to grow up and love their enemies. It's not a problem, folks. It's not a big deal to do this. It's sick. And like I said, I do blame at this point. I've been watching a lot of stuff on this, guys, lately, and I blame media. I don't blame Republicans, Democrats, left, rights, whoever you want to call it. I don't blame that. I blame what the media shows us that makes everybody get their thoughts and feelings about the other side. That's where I blame this. And we're not having a political conversation, folks. I'm giving you my feelings on something that I believe is real. It never got like that until the media made it that way. That's a fact. That's what I've seen happen. That's what I think we've all seen happen. It used to be no big deal to walk across that aisle, shake somebody's hand and say, here, let me help you with this.
Well, the chances are that people that hated Charlie Kirk hated him because they didn't know the facts about him.
That's 100%. And the only thing that was ever put out by specific sides of different things was some of the negative stuff that stuff that he said that people took in a negative way. In turn, those people were radicalized against his thoughts and feelings. And you don't
quotes taken out of context.
Yes. Thank you. Many times, So in turn, you take somebody's life. No, this is going to destroy us. Like I told you guys, my wife found that quote for me, and it's a fact. You weren't here the other day, Jesse, but our very first president said, George Washington himself, he was independent, by the way, said, when they create sides, it will be the demise of this country. And here we are. Morning, Eddie. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Jesse.
Every time,
Good morning, Eddie.
Good afternoon or evening to you.
Yes.
It's well into the evening for me.
I like yours. I was going to tell you last time, but I like your railing on going up your stairwell there. That's pretty neat. I like that.
The photo behind me is a family portrait.
I could see
and the one to my side is
your wife.
My wife. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it looks like really nice architecture in there. I love wood. Anything wood is my thing. It's what attracted me to this house because it's all the woodwork and stuff. So, any thoughts on what I just said, Eddie, or what was stated in that interview? Anything so far?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump up here while we're still on the conversation. Who knows what all you're going to cover today, but we're talking about Charlie Kirk, and I wanted to ask you all if you have seen the latest on. Well, without giving it away, have you seen where there is a video of the bullet coming from like the rear or the right-hand side of Charlie Kirk, and you can see when the video or the film is slowed down, you can see like the vapor trail of the bullet. Is this new to everyone? Does that ring a bell? Has anyone?
I've seen it being discussed, but I've seen it's
I've never seen
in
it.
the way it was presented to me was not definitive, but more like worth looking at, but hard to really put your finger on it. But I don't know. Have you seen something that you feel convinced by?
So, as you know, I follow the channel Love, Travel, Adventure. I wouldn't know anything about it. It is the newest thing since I was on your channel last day ago. So it's brand new. It is Love, Travel, Adventures, I think, most recent video. And I've shared it with you. I just emailed it to you now. Dago, hopefully you'll be able to find it in your email if you want to share it. I have a timestamp.
No, I do. I'm looking right now as we speak. Keep going, bud. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And I wouldn't want to like throw it out there if it seemed like
we
corny. I don't.
Oh no, we have questions about this. We've had questions about this. We're a truth channel, okay, and a truth community. We want truth about anything that we talk about and everything. We deserve that. So this is why we talk about these things. That's why Jesse likes talking about it. That's why I like talking about it. Because we want to see and know the truth about every situation that's brought forth. Because we know that 9 out of 10 times when they throw it out there on the mainstream for us to see, we're not getting truth. So that's why we do this. So no, Eddie, you're fine, bud.
Well, and this and Idaho 4 to me are the same thing. We're really discussing the same
100%.
thing, the same problem, the same issues, and which is what the guilters don't get. Why do you care so much about the Idaho 4? Well, because it affects everything we're going to do moving forward, and we're seeing it.
It's us. Yes, it's us, and we deserve that truth because this can happen to us. Both situations can happen to us, period. Welcome. Okay, sorry guys, I didn't mean to interrupt what you were saying, but yeah, 100%, this is true. So I got it, Eddie. It came through really quick this time, so that's awesome. Let's see. Thank you guys again for joining us. Please hit the like button on your way through. Yeah, Candace has really been pushing that there's a lot of questions for this that need to be answered that aren't being put out there correctly. And I got to say, in a lot of senses, I agree with a lot of what she has questioned. Truly. Yeah, she's sick of being gaslit. That's what she basically said in no other terms. And I don't blame her. I'm sick of being gaslit. Yes, thank you. Right there. We all are. That's what our problem is, folks. That's why we have these conversations. We're all tired of being gaslit and lied to. If we did something wrong, let me put it this way. If we did something wrong, we're expected to tell the truth about what we did. We have to face consequences for what we did to the fullest extent of the law. Jesse, Eddie, even Jesse's in another country. Same thing. You do something wrong over there, you have to face the consequences.
Why do they dare not speak about politics in this country? That
would
be what I mean. Right away.
Legally, anywhere, truly anywhere. There's some form of consequences for something you do wrong, and they push it to the full extent of the law. Typically, why are they allowed to twist their side of things and not have to deal with it the right way? That's the issue. That's what I have a problem with. So.
By the way, you wouldn't need to have a trigger warning on this. He's going to play a video, but it contains nothing that's going to be,
okay.
Gory, anything of that sort. Also, he has it segmented. Like in the red time bar at the bottom of all videos.
Yeah,
it's the red line rather.
It tells you which like what it is that he's talking about.
Yeah, sometimes like a content creator can segment them and give different labels to each portion of the video, or it can just be like a continuous nonstop.
Yeah, I like that when they do that because it tells you where you can go to. So I'm right.
Yeah, so rather than give you a timestamp, I'll just say it's the second segment. Like the first segment would be like his intro, and then where you can see the break, and then that where it picks up the second segment. I think.
Yeah. The Kirk shooting analysis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right in there.
Start right here then. Okay. All right, guys, let's check it out. Thanks, Eddie, for bringing it to the table.
You're from up on a building, 22-year-old kid. He's a furry. He's, LGBTQ, all that stuff. You've heard all the misrepresentation. And then Jimmy really lays out, and you see the video at the bottom. This is a side shot of Charlie Kirk. This is a video I'm going to play. It's a side shot of Charlie Kirk sitting in the chair with his microphone in his hand.
Understand, folks, we're just showing this to review it. Everything that we talk about here is obviously pure speculation and theory based on what we're learning right now. We don't know these things for sure, so just take it and process it. That's all.
This is the last time he starts to lift up his microphone to answer one more thing. This guy that was at the microphone in front of him said he never got the question out because he was fired upon. And if you watch that initial video where you were told he was shot from this top of a building, if you watch that, Charlie tips to his left and falls on the ground. Well, the thing is, with kinetic energy, with a weapon, when you fire on someone, they're going to normally fall the direction of the shot. So if he was shot from this building to his left, he should have fallen to the right. But Charlie fell to the left. They also said that big gaping wound was an entry wound. That didn't make any sense because most entry wounds are small and the exit wounds are large unless the size of the projectile is really, really big. It doesn't matter. It's all going to just blow up and explode. So we're gonna watch this video. It's a very quick, short video, but it's going to change your mind, I believe, on what you've been told. And you know what the shame is? It's going to probably also change your mind on what you've been told about the FBI director, the FBI assistant director, Pam Bondi, because this is one more cover-up. Because so many things are coming out now with all the cameras. Watch this. Let me put this up, and I'm gonna try and walk you through it and go slow with it. So bear with me, okay? That's Charlie's hands right there, holding onto the microphone. You see the microphone between his knees, and he's about to answer the guy asking the question. And he's facing the crowd. The alleged 22-year-old shooter would be to Charlie's, as Charlie's looking at the crowd, would be to his left, allegedly. Watch this in slow motion, and I want you to pay attention to right between Charlie's knees where the microphone is. I'm going to try and stop and start this so you guys can see it a couple times in slow motion. You might have already missed it. If you look really, really closely, you'll see a projectile go right by Charlie's microphone into the ground ahead of him. Watch this one more time. Do you see that? You see that? Yes,
I definitely saw it.
And this is what Jimmy Watson said, because Jimmy was a sniper in the SEALs. Watch this one more time. You see that right there at the screen? This is going into the ground in front of Charlie. He's already been hit. He's about to react. Let me play it back one more time. Pay attention to that area. You see that? Super slow motion. Let me put myself back up on the screen just for a minute. Jimmy says, and I'm gonna go with the Navy SEAL every day of the week. You can believe that. Jimmy says that projectile hit him from behind, came through that wound. That's the exit wound. He said the problem with all that story, even that is, he said as many people, and he took a lot of people out being a sniper with the SEALs. He said every person I saw get hit like that, it took them quite a few seconds to start really pumping the blood. He said Charlie began pumping almost right away. He said that didn't make any sense to me because I've engaged enough people, took enough people out, because in the teams, you do that. It didn't make any sense. And he said, then them telling you that the shot came from over there, when I slow this down and I see the bullet coming between Charlie's legs, which means it came from behind him, this was the exit wound. And if you go back and watch the front video, it all makes perfect sense. Let's watch this one. Let's watch this one.
You can play as much. Yeah, you can play as much of this as you'd like. He's kind of interesting to listen to. It's you can continue on and on. It's not that long of a video, but it's still ways to go. I think you can just drop the link and let people check it out for themselves or whatever.
Yeah, it's only the whole thing is like 12 minutes, I think. So what? Let me see. He says he's going to show this again. It doesn't show the bad part of the video, folks.
I think he continues to talk about like how they immediately raced up to the cameras and took them down and made sure that those disappeared. He's going to talk about some other,
well, and that's
cover up.
That's part of what I wanted to talk about too. Is the camera that was right here? Okay, where's that footage at, and why is it gone?
Well, apparently, from what Candace said and what I've seen a few people say now, is the guy was a Turning Point USA employee. He was just getting it so he could give it to the FBI. But from my point of view, everybody knows this is a massive assassination. You don't touch anything. You don't, and you, for me personally, I would think the second I touch anything on this scene makes me a suspect.
It's any
I
kind
know enough to know that I don't want to
Yeah.
have anything to do with touching anything or involving myself or inserting myself into anything here, let alone the camera that could be evidence. And not only that, why was he in a position to even do that? Why was there no law enforcement there?
Why didn't somebody stop him? Right.
And now today, the university is doing construction right on that spot where that scene is. That scene was never sealed off to the public, or there was, that scene should still have tape around it. Nobody should be allowed in or out. Apparently,
everything should have been frozen, stopped, locked down. Other than, it's kind of hard to control in a scene like that, the chaos of people running. But the guy went to the video cam behind immediately and took the SIM card. That should have never happened. That should have been law enforcement lockdown, period, in my opinion. I'm sorry. If anybody, law enforcement should have grabbed it. And they should have.
It can't be a coincidence that the footage that they've shown on mainstream media does not show the shooter in the prone position shooting.
Right.
But why? I mean, the camera should capture that, right? Certainly there would be footage of him taking the shot.
I want to see the drone footage. They showed drone footage after the fact, and there's drone that was flying around. The FBI has the ability to figure out anything they want, and they can. I want to know who had that drone flying over there. Was it governmental anyway? Was it a government drone, or was it a personal drone? Whoever has it, that footage should give the answers. Where is it? Who has it? And why? Why hasn't that been talked about or shown at this point? You know what I mean? That would
the information we have been getting is absolutely. I mean, it's almost insulting that text message thread that came out. Like, it's almost like there was no effort put into making it believable at all. And
it was so ridiculous. I mean, we're not stupid. Yes. There's no timestamps. That was the first thing that I looked at and went, what? This is weird. And then you take that and go forward. Like, there's no reality behind those text messages, folks. Do you know what I'm saying? If somebody texted me and said, hey, I just took somebody's life, my response is going to be quite a bit more dramatic than what was seen in those. You would think.
No. I disagree. I know what your response is going to be. If somebody texted you and they're close to you and said that they just took somebody's life, your immediate response is going to be, call me now. Answer your phone, call me now.
Oh, well, you're
not going to continue that conversation on Discord or text message or.
But it still would have been more dramatic, Jesse. That's what I'm saying. Then that was so very nonchalant and so
would it not go straight to, we need to speak on the phone right now? Isn't that wouldn't everybody do that? Is there anybody that thinks that they're not going to
call me now?
It's supposed to be your boyfriend, right? So let's talk about your girlfriend,
call me
your
now.
wife, your brother, your best friend. They drop a bomb like that on you, whether it's
I need to hear your voice.
I got cancer, or I just killed somebody, or I got in a car accident, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Isn't the natural reaction to call me? I'm calling you now. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. I need to talk to you right now.
That's
it's not like, oh yeah, well, why did you? Oh, you shot him? Well, why?
It was so nonchalant. It was ridiculous. I see it doesn't make sense. Let me put it that way. Okay. And I keep getting these emails, and it's been more than one person. One person has sent it to me multiple times, but they have a big feeling. I'm not putting people's names out because everybody has different feelings about things, but they know who they are. That Twig, his roommate, partner, whatever you call them, was the one that may have created this situation per se. It's an opinion, and I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. It's an interesting thought, though, and that's what started this situation. If that is the person that's responsible per se,
I think that's the road that Candace is going down because
I
she's
do too.
discussing his family, and there appears to be like a power base there that they're a family that's got their fingers in a lot of pies and a lot of influence.
And I agree. Listen, I agree that if Robinson did this, he's an adult, young, but an adult. He makes his own choices, Krista. I agree with you. You have that ability. You have that. That's fact. You make your own choices. You make your own decisions. Play stupid games. You get stupid prizes. That's how this works. But the point that I'm making with this is if that were true, if that turned out to be a true situation, then they need to be doing more with this person if that was it, than just he's destroying evidence. He's out of the limelight. He's not responsible. And that, I'm sorry, but you are responsible in that sense for helping with the premeditation, if that's true. That's all I'm saying. If that's true, there's people that don't believe that Robinson did this at all. That's what I'm questioning. We need to know truth. If this is the one that did this, then just like with Brian Koberger, show me the proof, prosecute him, be done. End of story.
Wade Bird. So I had you pause the video, but I think Red, that's the content creator here. Red was going to show it again. If you want to keep playing, Wade Bird says not quite understanding what they're trying to show,
play it again.
What's trying to be established. So let's show it again. If anyone has questions after we go through it, when Red shows it another time.
No, I was going to play it again. I was just making a statement on what I thought about that. But yeah,
and rather than backing it up, let's just play for where we left off. I think he's
getting ready to play it the same thing again anyway. So yeah,
okay.
And if I need to slow it down, you guys, you want me to slow it down, back it up, whatever, just let me know.
One more time, because this is absolutely crazy to me, and it just blows the narrative apart. They're pitching us. Let me play it back right there. You see that? You see that? One more time. Did you see that projectile go right by him? And Jimmy's like, when you fire a weapon, he said, when I fire a weapon from a distance, I can see from that distance, I can see the vapor trail on that bullet. He said, you see this bullet in slow motion going in his, he said, now it all makes perfect, because he couldn't understand the dynamics of why Charlie fell to the left, why he, jolted forward versus to the side when he got hit, allegedly being shot from that side. He said, none of that made any sense. And again, he's a former sniper. That video is very damning. And the more I've watched it and just slowed everything down and looked at it, let's listen to what he says too. Let's listen to what Jimmy says on this video, because he talks a little bit after the shooting.
Great to see you too, Michael Green. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you very much.
See it? And then Charlie's body convulses.
I'm going to disagree with one thing he says. He says that you can clearly see it going down toward the floor. It's already, he's insinuating that bullet's already gone through Charlie Kirk. But I don't see it that way. I see it as if that bullet could be, the starting point could be a low starting point, and it's on its way to hit Charlie Kirk. And you don't see the rest of the body react until it passes by his knee. I don't see how, is there anything that you can see in that video that shows which direction it's going? Whether it's going on its way up or on its way down?
I think it's difficult to assess that true. This guy being a sniper, I'm interested in what his thoughts are on explaining that, like what you just questioned, because I was questioning that too. Yeah, we were going to talk about that too, Mark. But yeah,
how would someone be underneath him shooting upward, though?
But you can't. Yeah, you can definitely see like the vapor trail per se. It's not going this way.
Well, apparently, there's a trap door right where he was sitting, Eddie. I mean, I mean, there literally is. I mean, unless that's I guess I don't have the links, but there is apparently a trap door right under where he was sitting.
That I don't know. I haven't seen that. And
this I'll try to find it.
I haven't heard or seen that either. I mean, there may. I'm not saying there isn't. I guess I need to see what you're talking about.
Right. And this I haven't.
Well, I haven't seen anybody's. I'm not talking about a video that says he was shot from there. I'm just saying that part of the story of why are they treating the crime scene like this showed a trapdoor there, and it was just interesting to see. But something worth looking at, anyways.
Definitely.
I'll have a look, see if I can find it.
Yeah, definite. On we go. And Live Love Sale. I haven't seen that anything. I've heard this, like it's been talked about around about today. I haven't seen anything like, proving it or anything yet, but it's interesting for sure. Thank you for the statement. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no matter what, this won't prove anything. It's just another thing that has
something to question
become available.
Yes.
We live in the day and age where pretty much everybody has a camera. So as all these, people are sleuthing out what they got in their camera roll, right, or film. So
100%.
It's another piece, and it kind of will explain a lot of these inconsistencies, like he's laying out. So what we're being told is the entry wound really looks more like an exit wound, and we all know that in ballistics, where the bullet goes in is a small hole, and where it comes out is a very large hole. Okay, and then the direction in which he fell.
Yeah, that's just
again, it's contrary to if that Tyler was on the roof and shot from that direction. It's inconsistent with the way Charlie's body reacts, right? So now we have this, and it shows a bullet. Yeah, and it's suggesting that it's already gone through his neck, and we see it, coming out is what we're looking at here. That's kind of, so all these pieces coming together, that's the picture you should have in your mind.
Right.
That's what you should be coming away with. So, anyway, let's play more.
No problem. Thank you again.
Can't hear it.
I know. I don't. The audio quit, or I don't know if he realized that or not, but
yeah, that would be on Red's end.
Right. Hang on. Let's see if he picks it up.
Listen, here's what I know. You start talking. Let me put this back up so you guys can see all the clips. There's Jimmy when he was in the teams. John McAfee. I wish I would have gotten that stream done. I wish I would have gotten that stream done with John, because after that he disappeared. He was never really quote unquote heard from again. Jimmy's got crazy. He's got a crazy story. He's got a crazy life. That video that you're watching appears to be the truth, no matter what we're being told. No matter what you're being told about the magic bullet, no matter what you're being told about some 22-year-old kid, there's actually an arrest video of that kid with a minor accident in, I want to say, wherever he lived in Utah.
Yeah, I have that video too from 2022. I'll show you guys too, by the way.
Back in 2023.
Ferguson brings up a good point.
He speaks perfectly.
What'd you say, Jess?
Carl Ferguson brings up a good point.
Candace claims that she's seen the footage from behind and there's no blood. Yeah, I do remember a clip of her saying that too. I don't know. There's too many questions. That's why we're doing this. Thank you, Carl. Good to see you, by the way.
He doesn't sound like a LGBTQ person. Speaks perfectly, super polite and respectful to the police. It didn't make any sense.
That
Didn't
might
sense.
be a little bit
This video, I think,
politically incorrect.
Well, take it with a broad brush, but
doesn't sound like an LGBTQ person.
Right.
Speaks perfectly.
Bit of a wide brush. I agree with that, Eddie.
I mean, I'm not your biggest pro LGBT person, but I'm sure there's a lot of Brian. If Brian was in the chat, he'd be horrified to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a point to it. There is a point. It's paint with a broad brush. Yeah. Do they all know?
I know what the point was too, though. Right.
But I mean, watch the arrest or whatever, the interaction between the police and the supposed LGBTQ person, and see if it's consistent with what
right,
you would be inclined to typically believe or see.
Sure.
Apart the whole narrative. And if that video is, that's why they took the camera out behind Charlie. They took it out right away. His people took that camera out in the first 5 minutes of the shooting, actually reached and grabbed his chair once he was dragged away, allegedly dragged away. They grabbed his chair that was still part of the crime scene and moved it over, stepped up on the top of the chair and grabbed the camera down and took the SD cards out. If that video of that bullet going super slow between his legs down into the ground, then Charlie flinching backwards and then tipping to the left, I don't know what to tell you.
This is another, Kent just brought something up that I've seen passed around a lot now. One of the things RFK's been talking about is getting rid of the 5K video on cell phones because he's saying it causes cancer, so on and so forth. And we all know he's a little different, RFK is, about some of his beliefs on some of the wild stuff he said. I'm not saying he's a bad person, don't get me wrong. But is that the true reason? Or is it because it does, if you're filming something on with a 5K camera on your phone, you can get very clear video of a situation. It just makes you wonder. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not going down a rabbit hole. But Kent, that's a very good point and quite an interesting thought. I'm just saying. In the fact that I agree with that statement. The way that they grabbed that camera so fast, it just irritated me, I guess, and made me think immediately. That's all I'm saying.
Jimmy's videos on this are exquisite, no matter what you're being told. Because here's what the FBI is telling you: forget your lying eyes. This is what you're seeing. Isn't that what they've done to us for the last that I've been alive, 65 years? Look at that. They were obviously on the moon. Look at them with that lunar lander right there on the moon, 250,000 miles away, with no refueling. They got there and back. Look at that. No oxygen refueling. Look at that. That's exactly what it was. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe us. That's damning, though, because now you look at, at least for me, I see Bongino, I see Patel, and I see Bondi, and I see all the rest of them through a different lens. Because if that is legit, how it went down, if that's not AI, and Jimmy even talks about that, the claims it was AI. He says, no, he said, this is not AI. If that's the case, this is horrible for America, because everything we thought we were working towards is now. And now I saw last night, I've already gone 10 minutes. You guys are so chatty on a Saturday. Now they're saying that there's sleeper cells in the U.S. of Islamic warriors, and there's going to be a major uprising across cities. And that came from within the government, from within the intel community, and they say it's going to be bad.
That's been being talked about since 9/11 and then some. And they've been, that's been something that
the Patriot Act.
Do what?
The Patriot Act immediately.
Yeah, it's been talked about for quite a while. That it's just any time it can happen, that they keep thwarting these issues that are going on, and I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Well, anytime there's a tragedy, the government tries to exploit it to exert more control on society, and they're not wasting any time trying to do that in this case, and it's got me quite conflicted. Which is a question that I wanted to ask Eddie: is how do you reconcile it? Because we see now people are getting canceled for what they're saying about Charlie Kirk, and I want people to get canceled for Charlie Kirk gets shot in front of his kids that are 4 and 3 years old, and his wife, and he didn't, in my mind, the guy was, whether you agree with him or not, he wasn't the man that he was represented to be by some in the media.
He was a human being, right?
So for people to be celebrating his death, I think there should be consequences. I think they should be fired, and I think there is some hypocrisy there, because some of us, or most of us, say we stand for free speech, except for speech we don't like. Yet the people that are fighting back the most about this are the same people that were canceling people in the Me Too movement and the last 5 to 8 years, canceling people for far less comments that were far less hurtful. So the hypocrisy on both sides, and it's difficult to reconcile, because part of me wants these people to suffer for the comments they're making, but the other, when you really start to break it down, you don't want the government to get involved and freedoms to be taken away. And I do believe in free speech, so I don't think there should be legal consequences for dancing on the man's grave. But that doesn't. But there should be social consequences and not legal consequences. Maybe is the answer.
There's got to be a way to do it to be able to cover both sides of the tracks, in my opinion. Because I'm with you to an extent on that. I believe in our Constitution full-heartedly, but at the same time, there's got to be a way to do it without being so disgusting about it. Because I agree, somebody was killed.
But what the government is going to try and do is they're going to try to appeal to your emotions, and they're going to say, "See, nobody wants to hear these people dancing on Charlie's grave. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass these laws to stop them from doing that. But those laws are going to stop people from criticizing the government and politicians and people who need to be criticized, right? That's what's going to happen."
It could be used in that aspect. Eddie, you were going to say something, I think, but go ahead.
Well, I guess that was my question, but that was a long question, and there was many different directions and items that you covered, and I have a hard time following. Could you ask your question in like a very direct?
To simplify it.
Yeah, simplify. Thank you.
Yeah. So, question A: do you think people should suffer the consequences when they're dancing on Charlie's grave? And then the second part, the follow-up, is how do you reconcile that with people's right to free speech and the way that the government could use it for nefarious purposes? So that's the second
part, they don't interfere with one another. It doesn't, that's not an example of it affecting someone's freedom of speech. You can stand on the public sidewalk and say whatever you want to say, and you will not be breaking a law. No one will arrest you for saying what you're saying. And the first part is, people should pay the consequence. If there is a doctor, you're one of your loved ones go visit the doctor, and he has very bad bedside manners, right? Horrible, out of line, extreme. Should he be fired? Well, he chose to say what he said or to do what he did, and if he gets fired, that's on him. That's not, that's a a private business that he's working for, and if he gets fired due to acting in a way where it's inconsistent with his profession, then he should absolutely get fired.
I certainly do agree. I just am a little bit more concerned about the way that the government tries to use situations like this to cut back on freedoms even more and pass, because you hear Pam Bondi speaking about this. They seem to be all gung-ho on creating new, they'll name it the Charlie Kirk law, right? Well, I'll pass the Charlie Kirk bill, and this bill will stop people from doing X, Y, and Z. but it's not for Charlie Kirk. It's for their benefit in the end.
That's what I worry about too. Go ahead.
I mean,
Eddie.
Is there signs that is about to be the case, or is there any clues where they're suggesting that that's something that they're going to be working on? Or
I think
historical precedent.
Just worried about how things have happened in the past already.
The Patriot Act following 9/11, all these tragedies seem to follow with more government regulation and less freedoms, more surveillance. So yeah, I mean, this seems to be the recurring theme, right? Every time there's the Rahm Emanuel quote, "Never let a good tragedy go to waste," kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's it seems to be right out of their playbook.
Gotcha. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they do use circumstances to get their way with certain things. I haven't seen that come aboard yet, but I think that's what Jesse was saying. He hopes it doesn't, and I agree with that. I agree with that, Carl. Definitely teachers, law enforcement, pastors, doctors, anybody that works within a field in that sense should definitely be held to a higher standard, period, as considered just me and you and anybody else. And they should do that to themselves. They should hold themselves to a higher standard without even thinking twice. That's part of the professions. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Let's see what else the end of this says real quick.
So what better way to get the narrative off everything happening, including the alleged charges against 46 and all his cronies in the deep state? What a better way to get the pressure off of them than to have an uprising where you and me have to fight for our lives in our own country against people that were imported, and they're being paid to be here to hurt us. That's how I look at it, man. I've been wrong before, because I did wear a burgundy suit jacket to my prom, and I had red hair. So that was a huge mistake. But I think that was the last mistake I ever made. You guys watch this video even slower. It's craziness. God bless. You want to go for a walk, baby girl?
All right. Interesting stuff, Eddie, for sure. Appreciate that very much. Very much.
Burgundy suit jacket with red hair. That might have been the most interesting comment I saw in that video.
I thought that was funny. He's a trip. Hold on a minute here. Let's see.
So it's not
Wade
like
Bird was asking a question.
Oh, wait, who? What now? Sorry.
Wade Bird asked a question to me. I would like to respond.
Is it
I guess from my point of view, what I'd like to see is social consequences, but not legal consequences. So, as Eddie said, you can stand on the street and say whatever you want, but you might get punched in the face if people don't like what you're saying. You know what I mean? And there would be legal consequences for that. But if you have an employee and they're not getting along with your customers, you're going to fire that person, right? You're entitled to do that. So sure. I think social consequences for certainly in the Charlie Kirk situation, I think dancing on his grave should get you fired. That should be the social consequence. But I don't think the government needs to get involved and start passing laws for that kind of behavior.
And that I agree with. I agree. That should just be a social standard, and somebody especially somebody that's in a higher, they're holding a higher position of some authority.
I mean, perhaps there should be laws when it comes to doctors, though. I mean, doctors are supposed to be, your life is in their hands. And if they're going to view you as a Republican or a Democrat and be vocal about that at their place of work, that seems to be a conflict of that would violate what conflict of interest, in my opinion. I think at the end of the day, I don't want to know whether my doctor is a Christian or a Muslim or Buddhist or a conservative or a liberal or a Democrat, or it's I want to know if my doctor is a good doctor, and my doctor shouldn't ask me what my point of view is. He should treat me as a patient that he's trying to help, regardless of faith or politics.
Good point.
I think the same should apply to teachers. I think a good teacher would not bring politics into the classroom, unless it's a class on politics. But I certainly don't like teachers injecting their point of view into their students on matters of politics and religion.
Good point.
Yeah,
good point.
Very good point. And I agree. And I believe that there used to be a time in the past when that was the case. There wouldn't even be a discussion. And to suggest that there, if someone could flash time ahead and show you in your later life in the year 2025 and show your younger self that it ain't going to be like that in the future. It's going to be quite often, not always, but
I mean,
mostly
2020 would be a better example than 2025, though.
You would stand aghast. You would tell your older self that you're nuts, you're insane. There's no possible way it could be like that, and yet here we are.
Right. I think we've all done that. If we had the ability to do that, my God, I don't think we'd move forward in the future. It's crazy. Hey, Ray, it's good to see you. And Bridget, welcome, and thank you for the comment as well. Rach says, I agree. No laws about it. Majority of workplaces have policies to hold people accountable to that, which is fact. As long as they're doing it, Rach, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Medical profession, we have to follow a code of ethics. Yes, 100%, and they should. And I don't care if you're a doctor, a nurse aide, a janitor at a nursing home. It doesn't matter to me. You work in that field, in that facility, you follow the protocol, period. That's my point. So I agree with that. My wife said the same thing. They can't, like, my wife was a phlebotomist and a dialysis technician. They can't have those conversations there because they have people sitting in chairs for hours a day having dialysis done. They all talk. My wife cannot make a statement to one of them like that, or she will be fired, period. End of story. So you don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just, and it's standard. What's the word I'm looking for?
Any job when you're catering to the public. I mean, the public is going to consist of people with a wide range of views and religious backgrounds. And so you have to keep religion and politics out of it. I mean, it's only fair.
Part of life now. Yeah.
It's only fair to the public.
Yes. And absolutely, Jesse. Good point. Eddie, I think you might enjoy this, and guys as well. I have a part 2 to that video we watched the other day about the whole inferences. Do you remember that one, Eddie? Jesse, you weren't here.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a very interesting video, I thought. And there's more to this. Yes, protocol. Wait, you're asking that as a question, Meg. What do you mean, hon? By protocol as in, like, is it protocol, or is that what you're asking, or are you confused about it? I just want to make sure. In some senses, sometimes, Bridget, yes, that's true. I love your cat, by the way. Every time I see you, I want to tell you that. He looks just like mine. Unfortunately, all of change with hate speech and cancel culture on both sides. And that's, and again, that was all rooted. That was my big point this morning. First thing this morning that when we started talking is what mainstream media has done to us. Divide. Power versus the people. I'm telling you guys, I'll have that shirt soon. Anyone seen? No, I haven't seen. He's been busy with work and staying out of.
Friday would have this conversation, I think.
Oh, he would. He's just been doing a whole bunch of other stuff. He's kind of got irritated with what happened with the Koberger case, and he's waiting to see if something goes down so he can jump back in it. Sarge is more the legality to things and the Constitution and political side of stuff, which that's his thing. We all have our thing. Good morning, Micro. Good to see you today. So, thank you, Krista, for your statements and thoughts as well. Appreciate it. Mittens, great to see you, dear. All right. Now, this next video again is part 2 to the other one we watched the other day, and it's interesting. And there's a few other things added. And I think the video of him that the only criminal things that Robinson ever had happen to him in his life is in this video as well. So let's check this out, guys, and give your thoughts and opinions. If you need me to step back up, rewind, whatever, let me know. Great conversation too, by the way. I love these conversations, especially with these two gentlemen. Always good. Always good. Be careful, Krista.
Like discord.
Actually, twice exploding online. Israel will kill him.
The martyr, Charlie Kirk.
There have been more than 2 million distinct posts in the last week on X or Twitter referencing these conspiracy theories.
Because a lot of this is happening. A lot of these conspiracy theories are really being promoted on social media and channels like Discord.
Actually, twice as many posts as there were after the assassination attempt against Donald Trump last summer. Think about that. Some left-wing figures have been pushing the unhinged theory that Donald Trump himself orchestrated the killing to distract from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
I'm not given to wild, unsupported statements.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear. Thoughts build up until I can't hear. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science. Well, I'm here to help you navigate through the minefield of disinformation. I happen to be allergic to conspiracy theories. In this analysis, we're going to look again at the mischief of inference. A lot of people are inferring incorrectly, are following the cues of often opportunistic and mischievous creators, and are making inferences that are incorrect. So this analysis is essentially a part 2 to the original analysis I did on Look Closer. By the way, I got about 2,500 comments in that video and just this single super chat from Victoria.
Yeah, like I said, I don't watch him on the Idaho stuff, but this other stuff that he's been doing, he's been making some really interesting points.
Victoria, thank you very much for your support. Are you finding this analysis worthwhile, interesting, meaningful, important? Please do hit the thanks button. Remember, this is essentially a true crime story. And again, in order to navigate it, don't you want to be in the hands of someone who is telling the truth, someone who's authentic, someone who stands for justice and authenticity and also credibility? Well, with that out of the way, let's get started. So some new footage has emerged of Tyler Robinson at a traffic stop. I think it's about 3 years old. We'll deal with that in a bit more detail, but it is interesting how calm he is and also the dress code that he has during that particular stop. Another image of Tyler has been released of him apparently at a Dairy Queen. What inferences do we draw from that? What can we tell about this image? Now, contextually, we want to know where and when this image was taken, but more important is the source. Where does this come from and who provided it? This last aspect tends to be the issue most or least interested in. So let's not just assume that this image is legit and that it was taken on the night of the incident at 6:38 p.m. at a Dairy Queen in Orem. Let's start by drawing a few inferences. Do we ever see him in the same maroon type shirt? You'll also notice the Dairy Queen image shows a man without a watch, but his physique appears to be a little less skinny than the one taken from his apartment. And he did seem to be wearing that color shirt earlier that day. But if the shirt looks right, the cap looks wrong. Certainly the color, doesn't it? The shoes are just unclear. Now let's ask a similar question we asked about the rifle in part 1, but we want to frame it differently. Is the Dairy Queen image genuine? Number 1, yes. 2, no. 3, maybe. If the image is real, what does it mean? We'll circle back to this image and its implications at the end of this analysis. Also want to address the question that I asked in part 1, 2, or 3. What is the right answer there? We'll deal with that at the end of this analysis. Now let's examine how our brains are wired to make inferences based on limited information. And that's always what a conspiracy is, limited information. Of course, when we're dealing with an investigation, certainly at this stage of it, we also have limited information. So, how do we prevent ourselves from going off track? Well, look at this article from Vox. Reality is constructed by your brain. Here's what that means and why it matters. So, is reality reality, or is your brain telling you what reality is? Now, the key to inference is intuition, but intuitions need to be anchored in reality, not beliefs, right? There's a saying, seeing is believing, but in a real sense, the way our brains work is that believing is seeing. We see what we believe. And this is something that mischievous people take advantage of. So, how good would you say are your perceptions, intuitions, and inferences? Well, remember, we looked at this grid and we asked whether at first glance the squares on various levels are of different sizes. Well, just because they look as though they
I agree with that too, Rach. Like I said, we don't have to believe in everything. That's one of his things. But some of the things he points out is very interesting to me.
on different sizes doesn't mean they are. When you look closer and when you bring a ruler or use straight lines, you can actually see that despite the impression you have, the reality is that they are actually straight lines. Now, opportunists take advantage of the fact that you see things in a skewed way and don't check whether it is true or not. And this is why we need to be more careful. And obviously, because you sometimes see things in a certain way, you think you can get an answer much quicker. And obviously, when you check and make sure, it's a longer process. And you also end up second guessing yourself and feeling less confident. And obviously, all of those things make you feel less good, less confident about your ability to discern, all of which isn't very good for popularity or something going viral. Let's try another exercise, pattern recognition. Do you see a pattern in the circles at 3A? You should. Okay, now about how about 3B? And what's going on there? Why can't you now? Now let's look at a third and final exercise. Look closely. Now, do you know those circles aren't actually moving? It's your mind that actually makes them move. And so, what I didn't emphasize much in part one is this idea of carrying a towel. If we are preoccupied with trying to see the rifle, we miss the part that we can see the towel. And the towel is acknowledged in the official police narrative as well as in his narrative via text. And yes,
It's obvious that the guy's carrying something. I don't know what it is for sure. You can't see, but he's carrying something. He's got something in his hand. There's no two ways about it. You can't deny it. You know what I mean? So that is important. I'm just saying.
we will be dealing with the question of authenticity around that issue in part three. True crime is a unique arena where people come together and argue about evidence. It's quite interesting. Sometimes two groups can emerge. They can see the same evidence. Sometimes it's video footage. Sometimes it's.
By the way, for those of you that didn't catch it, see it. That's the camera that I was talking about that had the SIM card pulled out of it immediately within minutes of this happening. By the way, if you didn't catch that.
Screen grab or whatever. Sometimes it's just literally the facts of the case, and they can see completely different things. When faced with the fabric of a case, they can see completely different things. And that's why I say it's not about seeing is believing, but believing is seeing. And this is why you've actually got to challenge your own beliefs, leave them out of it. Let the evidence guide you, not let your beliefs guide you. And this is the other thing that's key to conspiracy theories. It's always within a belief system that the evidence is used to support it, not the other way around. Here's an example. If I tell you that this is a rabbit, you see a rabbit. But if I told you it's actually a duck, well, what is it, objectively speaking? We don't see what is there, we see what we believe is there, and there's a difference. Psychologists refer to this disconnect with reality as cognitive bias. The real talent, the real trick isn't seeing one or the other, but seeing both and maintaining the awareness that both perspectives are possible. In other words, not where someone says, well, if the question is yes, no, or maybe, not saying yes, no, it's definitely yes, or no, it's definitely no. It's, oh, I can see both possibilities, maybe. And then when you get more information, you move the dial one way or the other, not based on your beliefs, but based on the evidence. Have a look at what happens when you change your perspective in this optical illusion. First, look at the pink dots. Now look at the cross, the plus sign in the middle, and you'll notice that the dots start turning green where they turn invisible. Now, most people are not only incapable of a different perspective, but they insist that their perspective is the only perspective. You might think that that kind of confidence shows an intelligent person. Well, that's really the difference between average intelligence and insight, the difference between seeing something and discernment, the difference between knowledge and power. It's this idea of being able to keep two ideas in your mind at the same time. And then over time, with real knowledge, being able to gravitate to the one that is actually real, that is actually true. And so when I asked you, is the shooter carrying a gun? What did you answer? Yes, no, or maybe. If you answered maybe, either the first or the second time, it means you are capable of changing your perspective, which is a sign of intelligence, not a sign of a lack of intelligence. The same.
See, this part of this, the guy is a bit of an egomaniac. I agree with that. He's very interested in himself. The
I
point
also
of
think that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the point of the whole thing is, folks, completely, in my opinion, why I was listening to it before, because I'm showing it to prove we need to pay attention, because we could think we see something. That's why we go back and look again to make sure we're seeing what we think we see and not something else. That's the whole point. We need to focus on everything so that we do see everything that comes out with things. That's all. Go ahead.
I absolutely agree with that. But my problem is when he says that people who believe in conspiracy theories are following their cognitive bias.
I know.
But in my mind, people who rush to debunk conspiracy theories, or just and even the term conspiracy theory that was created by the CIA during the Kennedy assassination investigation, you want to toe the government line. That's because you have a predisposed bias, obviously, right?
I don't see it as conspiracy theories. I see that as considering everything, having an open and clear mind, and being able to have a critical thinking process going on, and to be able to look at every angle of something, and then you debunk it if it doesn't make sense after you point the facts out. So I don't see anything.
These type of people always feel, though, that they're impartial. They're just because they're going with the official story.
Of course.
But they're not understanding that because they're going with the official story, they're using that as their predisposed bias, because they don't believe the way that I believe, and that I think some of us in the chat, and maybe Eddie and yourself, believe that we don't trust the government, we don't trust the official story, so we can't use that as a baseline, because that would give us a predisposed bias.
Sure.
But anyways, that's how I feel about what this guy's saying. Is he's definitely invested in reeling us in and bringing us back to the official story, which, if you're gonna prove it to me, fine, but don't lecture me about why I shouldn't deviate away from it.
Like I said,
because he's basically saying we're intellectually inferior because we're exploring these avenues, or that's the way I'm interpreting it, and I don't like it.
I just ignore those things because they don't affect me. Mainly because they don't pertain to me. Anything that I know is not going to pertain to me, I can just kind of bypass and look at other things. It doesn't bug me because I know who I am, and I know how I'm going to look at something. Whether, not saying you don't, Jesse, I'm just saying with me personally, you know what I mean?
No, I'm not afraid or ashamed to be wrong about things, but I think everything's worth looking into.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
And I don't want to take anybody's word for it. I want you to prove it to me.
Yeah, he did. He did, and I did. Like I said, on a lot of specific cases, I don't follow anything with him. The BK stuff, I don't follow him. Nicola Bully, I was way backwards from him. I still am. So yeah,
he's a very skilled narrator, and his presentation is very good. And I've watched a lot of his stuff too. But every single piece he ever does, it's designed to endorse the official narrative. He never strays from, he's basically going off the PCA in every case he's ever covered.
Yeah, good point, Carl. Good point. I think that's when a lot of people started to open their eyes and say, I don't trust, So he's past the point that I was actually going to be looking at, so I guess we're good with that now anyway. Hang on here. Are they still running? Hold on.
But yeah, I mean, I get the point he was trying to make, I would be interested to see him show me a gun and a towel, and he sort of showed me some blurry, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that his explanation was any more convincing than the conspiracy, than a Candace Owens or a conspiracy theory video, really.
Gotcha. Absolutely.
Like to show me a blurry image and say that could be a gun. I mean, yeah, that's basically what all these conspiracy videos are doing.
To some aspect, absolutely, yes, sir. Hold on a minute here. I'm trying to. Nope, not that one. Let me see here. So much stuff going on. All right, so for Charlie's memorial, there's still live music and stuff playing. I can't play that. Let me see. Okay, so this was the other video I was going to show you guys. It was in his video, but he didn't show the full extent of it.
Who's driver? You the driver? Yeah. Can you tell me just really quick what happened?
I was coming this way and he was passing through and he pulled out from here, or no, from there, I think.
Do you remember which lane you were in?
I was in one of those two lanes going this way. I think in the right, in the rightmost lane coming this way.
Okay.
And he would have been there going left. And as I was coming through, he turned in and I T-boned into the side.
Okay. Do you remember looking at the light?
Yeah, it just turned yellow as I was getting in.
Gotcha. Okay, are either one of you injured in any way, shape, or form? No, nothing hurts? Okay, do you have your registration and proof of insurance on your vehicle?
This is the only other legal interaction that this Tyler Robinson has ever had in his life. This situation right here, they're saying.
So you're the passenger. Okay. His insurance, mom's on the way. He doesn't have a copy right now, right?
Okay. That'll work out. I'll just go ahead and.
Do you need to be on speaker? He's got his brochure pull up on his phone. I sent the picture of it if you want me to text it to you.
Yeah, just text it to me. That'll work out. There you go, bud. Thanks. All right. And then, did you get a record coming for this?
Yeah, I got one coming for this one.
Okay. He's going to need one too. He's a little leaking. Did you get one for this guy as well?
Yeah.
Troll 313. We're going to need a record for the 6 Juliet Fox as well.
And they put this out showing that he was the part of the reason why this was put out shows that he's very calm, collected, seems to be with it. He doesn't act crazy. Doesn't flip out. It's not going after nobody, saying wild and crazy things. Okay, great. That's the reason why they're showing this. And a lot of people are using this and saying, how'd this kid do this? Look at him. Look at him in this situation. There's nothing abnormal about him. Well, but doesn't always mean anything. You know what I mean, guys? It could be. And this was 2 years ago. Or, sorry, 3 years ago. What was he, 18 years old? Or how old is he again, you guys? 22? 19. He was 19, I think, or something. I think he's 22 or 23 years old. Anyway, so this is two different situations, too, though. This is a car accident. This is taking somebody's life. Do you know what I mean? So just because you have different views doesn't mean you're not that person. Just because you don't act this way in an accident scene doesn't mean you're not that person, is what I'm trying to say. But again, a lot of people have a trouble believing that this Tyler Robinson did this. But his father turned him in, according to what police have told everybody, that he said something to his father and he turned him in. I don't know. I don't know what anybody's thoughts are on this at this point, but I'm just showing you not the whole thing, but a quick piece of this to show his personality and how he reacts in these situations, I guess. Yeah, it seems like it, WB.
Your mom's on her way? Yeah, she's gonna be a minute. She's gotta shuttle over from where she's at to her car and then drive over. Gotcha. Okay, what I need you to do is just fill out this witness statement for me. This is just your identifying information. Down here, put exactly what you told me that happened. You two, are you brothers or friends? Yeah. Okay, all I needed, I just need his, down here, let's put name, date of birth, your address, and your phone number. That work just right down here. I have to list him as a passenger. Okay, are you injured in any way, shape, or form? No? Okay. Perfect. Okay, just give us a couple of minutes and we'll get the paperwork. All right? And we're going to have a tow truck come and get your car since you're leaking fluids. Yeah.
And that was stated in his neighborhood, Mittens, you're talking about? Because I didn't see that statement. I'm sorry. It's interesting, though.
Yeah, I think that comes from Candace, but yeah, apparently there was the people in his neighborhood couldn't park their own cars in front of their own houses because visitors to his place had out-of-state cars parked all over the joint.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that from her yet. That is an interesting statement. And yeah, I think we all agree on that one, Carl, for sure. Definitely. And I think they need to get a statement from Twig and do an interview with him and record it, and we need to view that. Make our own assumptions and evaluations based on what we see, in my opinion. Of course, that's
and
my
as far as conspiracy theories go and complaining about people having conspiracy theories, I mean, it's been the FBI's reaction to this that really makes me suspicious. When Kash Patel gets up there and the Governor Cox of Utah, the way they're speaking about this and the statements they're making and the inconsistencies, that makes me suspicious. And that text message chain, I've heard that justified by saying, well, law enforcement took the text messages and put them in their own words, and that's why it looks like that. Well, yeah, but why would they do that? I mean, is it even legal to do that? I mean, we're not talking about taking a verbal statement and writing it down. We're talking about a written statement. There's really no reason for you to change it.
Right.
When it comes to a conspiracy theory, the truth will tell itself. If there is something that happens, an event, the authorities won't have to tell you the story around that event. You can see it for yourself. None of the items in this case that they are claiming can you see for yourself. They have to tell the story around it. Nothing, not one thing points to Tyler Robinson being the shooter. If you have built it in your mind, you might believe it, but name one thing. These text messages, there's a red flag. Breaking down the gun and jumping off the roof with it in a bag that's too small to contain the gun. You see a drone flying. You see, I mean, it would be a shorter list to say what evidence do we have that shows
Right.
him being the guy. I mean, the differences in the facial features. The list goes on. I can't recall them all right now, but just I could probably name, given enough time, a half a dozen to a dozen things that are inconsistent and that would qualify as red flags. Please give me one that would, against my dozen, that would suggest that he is the shooter, without a story being narrated around it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And Jesse began this live stream by saying that this case in the Idaho 4, the Brian Colbert, it's one and the same. You're looking at the same thing here. The question is can you see it? Are you willing to see it?
Well, and one of the things is you better wake up, because eventually it's going to touch you, if not directly through friends and family, or eventually it'll reach you.
And that's whether you see it or you don't see it, or you want to see it or you don't want to see it, or whatever you see. I want everybody to see everything. That's my point behind all of this. That's why I showed that bit of the rocket science video and all that. I want everybody to pay attention to everything. If it looks this way, okay, fine. That's how you perceive it at that point. You know what? Take a step back. Come back and look at it again, and look at it a different way. Listen to what Jesse says about it. Listen to what Eddie says about it. Listen to what I'm saying about it. Make your own theories about it, and then break them all down together and see what you come out with that makes you comfortable. That's the whole point I'm trying to tell you guys. We have to look at everything all the time. You can't just trust what somebody's telling you every day. Don't trust what I'm telling you. Don't
does make it difficult when everybody's trying to use it for their political gain as well, right? Like, never let a good tragedy go to waste. Both sides of the aisle are trying to politicize it and spin it for, and perhaps even Kash Patel and the FBI, this is a big PR thing for them. How they play this affects their, perception, the way they're perceived. And that's a problem, because we're not getting the information just honestly. It's all being spun for various agendas.
It's being molded a specific way and given to us that way and only that way, and that's the way that they want us to take it. Just like in the Koberger case, nothing's different with that. Okay,
different. And people will say that every time there's an assassination, you crazy conspiracy theorists, you always get out here. But when you start doing the examples, who are we talking about here? We're talking about JFK, RFK, Martin Luther King, add Charlie Kirk into that. I mean, these are all potential presidents.
Reagan.
These are people who are ascending to a position of power, and the motivation is to stop these people from and who has the motivation? Some kid who's dating a furry, or a guy that's donated $10 billion to a super PAC.
Right.
For, you know what I mean? Like, there's people with an awful lot of money who have awful lot to gain or lose through who's in power.
Mm-hmm.
So the motivation for them compared to the motivation of some dude who's dating a furry pales in comparison.
Right. Yeah. And
if there's even a furry, I don't know that there is a furry, but
no,
that's what they say.
Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, guys, I want to make it very well known. I don't expect anybody in this community to come in here and take what I say word for word for what it is. I know you guys don't, but there are some creators that when they say that, that's what they expect you to believe. And if you don't, then you're no good to them. Okay. I want everybody to have their own mind. That's why I love this community, because everybody has their own mind, and we can talk about different variations of things and look at things in different ways and discuss it without getting mad at it. Like, I can completely disagree with Jesse and vice versa, and or Eddie. That's good, I think, folks, because then it gives us the ability to look at it in a different way and actually see something that we may not see if we're looking at it from just our perspective. That's why I love this community and why we can do what we can do in here. That's important to me. So,
well, don't nobody start believing what I believe, because everything I believe is subject to change.
and then that goes for me as well. You guys know that I've changed my mind for, again, look how long it took me, and Eddie can attest to this, to get to where I'm at with the Idaho 4 case. And I haven't, I'm locked dead now. Okay. You can't, you're going to have to show me something powerful at this point to take me back from where I'm at now. And I mean powerful. And I don't think you can do that. It took me a while to get locked down where I'm at, you know, because I was in, I guess, in a form of denial because I didn't want to believe that these things could be what they're being. Sorry, folks, but it is what it is now. And
that's part of why I'm believing what I'm believing about this case, or let's not even believe. I don't really believe anything. I'm just asking questions because, and I think that video that we just watched is a good example. And somebody brought up that somebody else is proving this and that, and it's like, well, I'm using my experience in the Idaho 4 case to remain skeptical and not, you know, yeah, it could have been this and it could have been that. You're going to explain this and you're going to explain to me why the PCA is actually accurate. I'm sorry. I've seen this movie before. My original instinct, I'm going to stick with that until I see something extremely compelling, because, you know,
and in a lot of cases, we've done that already, Jesse, with the Karen Reed case and with the Delphi case. You know, it's the same thing. We've seen it, which is why we have the beliefs that we have in some senses, and why we question things the way we do now. Because how many times are we going to see this before they actually put a different movie in for you? Okay, that's what I'm saying. So yes, I agree. And no, it doesn't matter to me. Typically, love is love. Period. It doesn't matter to me at all. I don't believe in that at all. Even the Linguini Manicotti, his case is suspicious about the evidence was tamed. In some, it was in the beginning for me as well. I haven't followed that anymore because the guy admitted that he did this, he did that, so on and so forth. But I still have questions about that one too. Don't get me wrong. I just don't follow that one as strongly now. We see things though, guys, with our own eyes that we're literally seeing visually here. I've watched, you know how many times I've watched it's rough, but the actual Kirk shooting video to try to catch, and I've watched it faster, slower, backwards, forwards, to try to see if I can make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And it's made me question things because of that, because it don't look right. It don't. And then you have things like we were just saying, like Eddie was bringing up, there's a few things that are there. We can't just ignore somebody running for the videotape right away. That's a problem. You know, the guy being putting videos out of the guy in AI. That's a problem for me. The text messages. Yes, sir.
Believe this or not, I have not watched that even once. So help me understand, since you have seen it. Is Red on track, you know, with his sniper friend? Are they on track by saying that the bullet coming from a different direction would be more consistent with the narrative we're being told by this Tyler Robinson shooting from the roof, from, you know, kind of the frontal left side direction?
Here's my issue with it from watching it. Like,
is that true or false? Real quick, does he fall?
He falls to the left. Yeah, immediately.
Is his directional fall inconsistent with the way if Tyler Robinson had really fired a 30-06 from?
I think it's pretty inconsistent, but
inconsistent.
Yeah, it is.
That answers my question.
Yes, it's inconsistent because of the fact that it. When I first saw it, after the trauma of it, then I went back and watched, like I said, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's weird, because truly, and I'm not saying that this happens all the time, but I've seen a lot of different things. Okay, the entrance hole does resemble more of an exit hole in some senses. Okay, it's weird. The bleeding, things like that, make me question these things. The falling. Now, yes, we talked about the other day about the bullet being lodged in his spine, possibly causing certain things to happen. Yes, these are the things that brought the questions, Eddie. So it's definitely inconsistent at least to the point that I'm going to question it. Yes. So I didn't mean to like beat around your question. I just wanted to.
I still think the wound is inconsistent with a 30-06, and I'm saying that as a guy who's never fired a weapon, doesn't own any weapons.
That's my issue, Jesse, is I think it should have done so much more damage than it did.
But I've seen enough people that do apparently know what they're talking about say that. And I know that through friends and people that do hunt, I've always heard of a 30-06 as, you know,
it's powerful.
Big and powerful. You know, people talk like, you know, you have all these other rifles and all these other guns, but man, a 30-06 will really do some damage.
Well, and yes, and you do. Yes, there is, before anybody says it, because I know it's going to come from somewhere, there is lack of intensity based on distance. I get that. 175 yards, okay?
Yeah,
but
not at 200 yards or less.
That's what I mean. That's what I was getting ready to say.
The muzzle velocity, the kinetic energy would be pretty much the same as...
That's what I was going to say, is that if you're 300, 400, 500 yards out and you're a pro, that's going to be different. This is 175 yards, folks, to 200 rough, okay? That impact should have been so much more catastrophic to me. That's my opinion, okay? Somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong. They go, you're stupid, shut up, whatever. Fine. Do what you got to do.
And the moat should have been a big motion backwards, no? Like
it should have kicked him, especially like Jesse. Remember our conversation the other day? We were talking about hitting the spine, and it didn't move that much. I was thinking about that after we got done, and I went and watched something else.
He thrown out of his chair.
I think it should have did this, like really done that to him, in my opinion, especially if it hit a solid object on his body. The impact should have forced it. You know what I mean?
Which is the only explanation for not having an exit wound, right? If you're gonna tell me there's no exit wound, then that means it had to hit something that momentum should have taken him back. He was a big man, though. I will say that he was apparently he's 6'5", so he's a big man. But
that's an impact, Jesse. At 30-06 on a deer, will blow the whole side of the deer off, guys. On impact, I'm not kidding. The other side of it is even worse. It's like ground beef. It's crazy. I know a deer's not a human being. Soft tissue's different way. I get it. It still blows my mind. Something is not right. It's weird. We've never seen the bullet. They're showing this gun, but we don't know that that's the right gun. From that, I don't know. The way it hit him, that to me was more along the lines of a 22 or something.
I mean, it sounds like. What's the explanation for why he didn't just take the gun to his car and drive away? And if that gun was never found at the, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I almost got away with it without leaving any evidence. Well, you left the evidence for what reason? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, and I don't know.
A lot of this stuff just isn't making sense. The changing the clothes a couple times, you know, the idea that he changed his clothes.
The shorts and then the jeans and it's weird, Jesse. The whole thing is strange.
You would think that you would only change your clothes once, you know, like
yeah. Yes, it one time, and yeah, if you didn't want to be seen with the rifle, then you should have found a better place to hide it first of all, and just left it and not even thought about, or just took it with you, got to your car and tucked it in your shirt, something, and left.
Exactly.
The whole thing done is just like there was no thought behind it at all. That's how it looks to me. Like you didn't think about this at all. You just did it. And that don't make any sense because there was some kind of premeditation to this, or it was the way it came off. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, Trish, good to see you. I don't understand it. It's just a little bit weird to me, the whole thing. No, Rach, that's the problem. And they probably will never let us, they'll probably never will show us or tell us that. But she said, do we know if it was hollow point or what kind of bullet? I don't know too much about them. Well, if it was a hollow point, it would have definitely done a lot more damage, period. Okay. That's fact. But it still did not as much damage, in my opinion, as a 30-06 should have. That's a strong gun. Facts are facts, periods. And like Eddie said, if it was from the distance it should have really put some damage there. Okay. Like what we see is that, and I'm not trying to be gross and, you know, trigger warning, but that little hole, and there's a lot of blood because of where it hit. That's the only reason why, supposedly. I would have expected this whole part of his neck to be gone. Truly, that's my expectation with that bullet hitting him with that gun from that distance, if not more, to be honest with you. It's strange. I've never heard of them, Krista. And no, he wasn't wearing anything. That whole story about it reflecting off of a vest makes no sense to me. I looked at that video again and again and again. There is nothing under his shirt that I can tell. It would have fit differently, in my opinion, folks. There's just no way. And it would have deflected it a hell of a lot more. If that would have hit, first off, the vest go like this. Okay? And come down over your shoulders, so on and so forth. If that would have hit, it wouldn't have ricocheted per se like that. It would have impacted, and then whatever, he'd have still been knocked off his chair. Probably more so because of that bullet hitting the vest. It knocks you down, period. Anybody that gets shot wearing Kevlar vest, they either hit the ground or they fall back. Pretty hardcore, folks. It's still an impact. Didn't happen. He wasn't wearing nothing.
You're right. They check themselves for bullet holes. They get hit so hard. They
breath away. And sometimes it looks like they have been shot and killed because of the damage.
They got to check for blood because they couldn't convince them in that instance that they weren't shot through.
It hurt. It still hurts. Yes. Yeah. It's like getting hit by a truck, 100%. Maybe it's fake, but there's a tweet out there supposedly from a surgeon saying his body stopped the bullet from exiting. It can happen, you guys. It can happen. Don't get me wrong. There's things inside your body that will stop bullets, of course, but it's in the force of the bullet typically stopping, or the body stopping the force of the bullet is what I struggle with in some aspects. But it could be true, Mittens. It could be, depending on if it went in and angled itself and things like, there's a lot of little things that go into that. I still feel like it should have done a whole lot more damage, you guys. That's my problem.
Yeah, that's the problem that's out there is people are there's going to be, whether it's taking the right, did he take the rifle down? Well, you're going to find your experts that are tweeting that, yes, he did. And yes, he can. And you're going to find, of course, on the other side of the argument too. Same with the, can a 30-06 get lodged in the spine?
I do think it's important, though.
It's possible, and you can probably find your expert that'll say that it could, but it's very unlikely.
Right. What, Jesse?
Just, it's important to realize that both sides have cognitive bias. A lot of these people that are, because every time I see an incident like this where people are suspecting something's wrong with the official story, you have a certain group of people that run out to endorse that official story and prove piece by piece why. And I think they're showing their cognitive bias just as much as anybody else is. And they're usually, their stories are very unconvincing.
Yeah, right. I do agree, sir. They're saying his bone density was so thick and healthy, it stopped it. I'm sorry, but I struggle with that, Bittens. I do. I know the power of a 30-06. I just struggle with it now.
I'm going to hop down. I'm going to share something with you all. But I have to, I think, email it to Daigle first. And I don't know how to share it.
No, that's okay, bud. You can just email it and I'll throw it up.
Okay.
And I'm going to show this while he's doing that real quick. I don't know if you guys saw this yet, but this has happened yesterday, I believe.
And released after an incident at State Farm Stadium. This happened Friday ahead of tomorrow's memorial for
all right, it was Friday. My apologies.
Charlie Kirk.
Police say he was armed and acting suspiciously. Fox 10's Nicole Christine joins us live with details. Nicole.
Well, good afternoon, Ashley and Brian. This man, police say this man, identified as Joshua Runkles, is from North Carolina, and he was claiming that he was working security here a couple days before the memorial for Turning Point USA. Now, we do have an updated statement from a Turning Point USA spokesperson, Andrew Colvette. He posted this statement on Twitter. Quote, "I want to add a note of clarity here. This individual was doing advanced security for a known guest, planning to
attend the memorial service tomorrow. We do not believe this person was attempting anything nefarious. However, the advance was not done in proper coordination with the TPUSA security team or U.S. Secret Service. Also important to note, this was before the site had been fully sealed and locked down. Every precaution is being taken to ensure everyone's safety. Now, Runkles reportedly has a concealed carry permit from North Carolina and showed officers a Franklin County Sheriff's Office badge, but they say he is not a law enforcement officer. He allegedly told police his company, ATP Ministries, is conducting security detail for the memorial. Because this wasn't something they were able to confirm, police arrested Runkles for impersonating a police officer and carrying a weapon into a prohibited place. He appeared in court and was later released on bond. We haven't heard from law enforcement regarding this update that he was allegedly there doing security detail, but they had said an investigation was underway to find out Runkles' intent and purpose on the property. And based on what we can tell from court documents, it seems Turning Point USA was the group that he was supposed to have as a liaison to speak with Secret Service and other security personnel. So at this time, it's really unclear where this communication breakdown did happen. But again, he has been released. And now we are hearing from Turning Point USA that he may, in fact, have been, allowed to be on the property there, but didn't go through the proper procedures to get that access and approval that was needed here on site.
All right.
You see, I don't trust situations like that at all. Welcome back, Eddie.
So I shared a couple pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pull it up real quick here. And I just showed that to give you guys, keep you guys up to date on things like this that are going on. I know there's going to be a lot of these types of issues happening. But I don't trust that at all. I don't, because he can say what he's there for, who he's there with, what he wants, and then in the end, take somebody out. We don't know that, okay? And that's why I don't trust it. Okay, hold on a minute here.
Well, I think in most conspiracies, there is a fellow like that that's involved, right? Like a guy that's
absolutely
supposed to be there working security for some, has a good cover story. That's how he gets in.
And that's why I don't trust it, Jesse, 100%. Because in the end, they get off too, Jesse, because they didn't commit the crime they were going to commit. So therefore, we don't see what they were actually going to do. Do you know what I mean? They can play it off as however you want. We never know the truth. All right, so Eddie just shared this photograph. Here's one of them. I shrunk it down a little bit, Eddie, so I could see it. What do we have here, my friend?
Okay, that is a Mauser 98.
This is the bottom of it.
Yeah, you're looking at the bottom of it. That would be the trigger guard.
Let me
and
see.
Look at how there's 4 screws to remove it from the stock. Is there any way to zoom in, do you think?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Hold on, you guys. Let me fix this so I can pull you guys up to the side and make this bigger. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so there's 1, 2.
And then 1, 2 at the very end, and then
3, 4.
At the opposite end, there's the other 2. There's such a lag here. I'm trying to speed up my. Okay,
take your time.
Okay, so the larger screw is what fastens the action to the stock.
Mm-hmm.
That is right adjacent to the larger screw. That is called like the locking screw or the capture screw. Notice how the larger screw is recessed. There's like a crescent shape in the larger screw.
Right.
And when you thread in your smaller screw, you can see that that smaller screw's job is to prevent the larger screw from loosening.
Yes.
By the way, just take a moment to be impressed with that design. That's very elegant, very smart design.
Yeah, for
Again,
sure.
This is a 1898 action. Okay. And did the other photo come through at all?
I don't know. I'm about to pull it down I have to move this one to look at the other one. I don't want to throw up I don't want to put your information out. That's why.
That is the action. Yeah. Before we're done looking at this one, that is the action. Oh, you can have it down too. That's fine.
Hold on. I'll pull it back up real quick. I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to get going, guys. Football games are about to kick off, so I got to go to work.
Yeah, I think does Cleveland play at 1?
Yeah.
Who are they playing today?
Packers. Green Bay Packers are in town.
Yay. Yay. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate your input and you being here today. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me, and good to see you, Eddie, and look
Good
forward
to see you,
to doing it again sometime soon.
Sounds like a plan, sir. Enjoy your day. All right, so go ahead, Eddie. I pulled it back up there.
Okay, yeah. So it's a little more involved. This is the actual weapon. You know, it's called an action. Okay, the Mauser 98 is, I guess, the portion of the metal piece, so to speak, that you would work the ammunition, the round into the chamber. Okay,
right.
That is it. This is what he used. If we're going to believe what the authorities are saying, that is the Mauser 98.
Yeah, and like Mr. Girl just said, it was a unique World War I era rifle that his grandfather owned that was given to him as a gift. We've all been told that.
Yes, and you can a gunsmith can disassemble. See, the wood, that's called the stock. Some people call it the furniture. A gunsmith can disassemble that, and if you want it sporterized, you can get rid of that military. You know, this is like a military surplus rifle here. You can get rid of that wood and put it in a more modern type of sporterized.
Yeah, you can take the action this here and put it into something newer, like a black, more of a plastic, whatever they use nowadays. Yeah, you can do that now.
Yep. Okay. So we're done with that picture. Hopefully the other picture came through too.
All right, give me a second. I'll yank that up now too. 1 second here. Whoa. Okay, Dago, you shrunk your whole thing down to where you can't see anything. Hold on. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, and right, that's the first one. Give me a secondary one here. The point in this is to show you how it is easy in some senses. Nope, that was the other video you sent me. To break this down to some aspects, but not this one in particular. He's showing you how difficult it could be because of these specialized things.
There's you know, it takes some time, you know. Can you do it in 1 minute? I don't know. It's possible. It's unlikely. It took me more than a minute.
Training.
Could it take more, you know, because there's not even a scope, you know. Those are just the 4 screws just to get the barreled action out of the stock, and it'd probably take, you know, between 1 minute and 2 minutes. Okay.
And then but you also have to put it back together and make sure that if your scope is zeroed in the right way to get it, which, you know, to get a good shot, that's the whole point in the scope. You can mess these things up. That's the point. So
what we're looking at here is that actual model 98 barreled action, which is all in blue. It's got the blued barrel and it's shorter in length. That has been removed. I removed it, and there it is. And you can see its overall length. And by the way, the barrel and the action, they never separate. You cannot disassemble those two pieces. Okay?
Right. So this is yours, right, Eddie? That you took apart yourself? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the lower one, you know, that's got, I think, around 22-inch barrel. You can tell by the tape measure, just short of 2 feet. But then when you add the action, it's closer to 32 inches there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now the other one, oh, by the way, that model 98, the one on the lower one, the shorter one with the overall length of 32 inches, that's chambered in, it's called 8mm Mauser. Okay.
Which would be this right here.
Yeah. Okay. And we're going to take a look at the different bullets here in a second. Yeah. Now the larger barreled action, that is a 30-06. It's got a, I think, a 27-inch barrel, and it's got a It's called a Model 1917 Enfield Action.
Right.
I guess. What's the difference between a Model 1917 Enfield Action and a Mauser 98 Action? It's just, okay, it's like a brand name. Okay, you know, to simplify.
Basically, it's just a name. Yeah. I didn't know you knew it much, but
different
yeah.
manufacturers. But they do the same thing. And they're about the same size. So, yeah, the one with the silver barrel is 30-06, you know, because after all, bigger bullet, bigger gun.
Bigger barrel, yes.
Okay, so now let's look at the bullets, the cartridges up here. So just to put it in perspective, the larger, you know, the 30-06 with the silver barrel, that's the 30-06 cartridge on the far right with the red tip.
Right here. Yes. That would go, this one here goes into this barrel right here, folks. This one here goes into this barrel down here, folks.
Yep. And just to put it all in perspective, I showed the other two cartridges to the left.
This is a 5.56 and a this would come out of like an AR-15.
Yes.
And then this here is a 7.62. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a NATO card. That's what, you know, that's what we use today in NATO, the United States, Australia, you name it, Germany, and, you know, England.
Right.
As opposed to, I guess, Soviet and Chinese type of.
Well, and you know, I'm glad you did this, Eddie. This is a good point. I'm impressed that I didn't know you knew this stuff. I'm like really impressed with this, truly. Look, they're claiming that this was what we've been told was this was it right here, what they used, the shooter used. Okay. Now, if you look at this bullet and imagine the force that this thing would be coming out of this rifle, out of this barrel at a human being. And then we look at what that did to that human being. Do you believe that that's what he was hit with in the front of his neck? This is what I struggle with. Knowing what I know, I'm glad he showed this because this shows, like, imagine what that does, folks, when it impacted it when it does it, what it does. Okay.
Yeah, you can hunt, you know, bear, moose, elk. Probably wouldn't want to hunt elephant or hippo with the 30-06.
I've never seen a moose, though, you guys. He's right.
Big. Yeah, it's
that's a big animal. That'll drop a moose. Moose is huge. Yeah, it is very helpful to understand. Thank you so much for this too, Eddie. I appreciate it. Like Rach said, because I was trying to like think of a way to explain to you guys what I imagined this bullet doing to a human being, especially where it hit him. It doesn't make sense to me. This should all be gone. Okay. Not that little hole that we see. I mean, it's not a tiny hole, but it's still a hole. It's weird. It's wild to me that did that. And again, granted, yes, I know 175, 200 yards. It doesn't matter. That's not far enough to slow this enough to lessen the impact that it should have given. I guess I did. I think I said that right. Hey,
yeah,
Annie.
Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, it can be disassembled, but they typically aren't disassembled, and it does take some time. And then here's the key thing, though. Looking at the tape measure, you know, by the way, 27-inch barrel on a 30-06, that might be towards the end of the long side of, you know, I mean, there is a range. Yeah, there's a such thing as a 26-inch barrel or 25, 28, certainly. Right. But, you know, there's a trade-off. There's a balance like anything else in life. You know, longer barrel means more accuracy, means more energy. And then shorter barrel, just the opposite. But what's the benefit of shorter barrel? Well, it's lighter. It costs less to manufacture. You know, so yeah.
Well, let's ask this question, Eddie. How long did it take you to disassemble this from the rest of it and do this?
Well, in a military surplus type of rifle with the wooden stock, it's going to take longer than like a sporterized version, you know.
Yeah, the other one.
But just by a couple minutes. So, yeah, I mean, if he's under stress and he's, you know, backing those 4 screws out, that takes time. You got to have a tool and
not lose the screws. Let's not lose the screws in the middle of all that gravel.
There's no scopes seen here on these ones. So yeah, and there's other there's other parts. You got a lot of small parts. When you're all done, you got the trigger guard and magazine spring and follower and the bolt, and so
very hard to believe.
I don't know for someone to oversimplify it and say it can be done in less than a minute. That's just, well, then that means you haven't done it. Experience it for yourself and see how long it takes. Probably take a couple minutes.
Now, somebody that has military training, that is trained and practices this 25 times a day, every day during their training to get to this point, sure, but he didn't. There's a difference, okay? He did not. I'm sure there's somebody out here that was a sniper in the military for 20 years that can disassemble this gun in 30 seconds. That's him with that training, not this guy that had no training other than by his dad or his grandfather on how to load and unload and maybe break the gun down. That's it. There's no military training here for him, I should say. Hearing that immediately made me think, when we heard that in the very beginning, that whoever did this was military trained to be able to boom, 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 and here we go. Because it was a quick release, and he was gone. He got up, grabbed the gun, and moved, and he was out, okay? Very quickly, considering the situation. The guy doesn't seem to have any kind of extra special training, so I struggle with that too. And there you go. It's kind of crazy to me. The whole thing is crazy to me. And again, looking at the bullet, you guys, again, this is the bullet they're saying that Charlie was hit with. I'm sorry, but
Well, yeah, the other big takeaway here is look at the tape measure. So when you do break it down, what do you end up with? Now, a barrel length of 27 inches may be on the longer side. If you add the action length to the barrel, you're going to get 36, just like it's shown on the tape measure.
Yeah, that's a 3-foot piece of material, folks.
Yeah, now put that up against your inseam, see how far it comes up into your...
Pretty long, your leg.
Into your step.
Well, I'm short, so that's the difference.
But in contrast, this other one, the one with the blued barrel.
Yeah, right.
Bottom, that's only got a 22-inch barrel, so it's 5-inch less barrel. But look at the overall length; it's still 32 inches long.
Yeah, it's still pretty long.
And by the way, a 22-inch barrel length on either 8mm Mauser or 30-06 would be on the extremely short side. That's typically not often found. It's gonna be a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
The 22-inch barrel on a 8mm, that's considered like a carbine,
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
These two would probably represent your extreme boundary, the extreme shortest it could possibly be on the bottom there at 32, and maybe about the extreme longest it could be on the top with 36. So somewhere in between is what, like a 24-inch type of barrel, like probably what I'm guessing.
And don't get me wrong, both of these bullets are going to do pretty serious damage, guys. Just look at them, okay? And again, I struggle with if it was either one of those leaving the mark that it left, and only causing the damage that it caused. I still feel like it would have been a lot more damage.
Yeah, those two big bullets. Yeah, the one would be what Germany was using during World War I and II. They were shooting those at us. And the one on the right, of course, is what the United States was shooting back at them.
Right.
The greatest generation. Now, look at what we all shoot. The one on the second one in from the left, that's the NATO 7.62.
Right.
Much smaller, lighter, and it's deadly.
Yeah, those will still do damage, definitely. Both of them, even this little one, an AR, believe it or not, an AR-15, we have one here. People think because it's, they will do some bad damage, truly, because of the speed behind them and stuff like that. So any gun will do damage, period. I don't care what it is. Any kind of ammunition and any kind of gun will do damage, period. So it's just some cause worse than others. You know what I mean? And honest to God, a single shot from this here, that looked more along the lines of what I expected from seeing what happened to Charlie's neck, as compared to this big boy over here. Is what they're telling us. We don't know, again, like Matt just asked, what kind of ammo he used. 100%. They didn't give any kind of answers to anything like that. They've never shown, and they probably never will. I agree with that.
Rach asked a great question too about, was it like a jacketed hollow point or
yeah,
we don't
know. They're never going to tell us.
By the way,
like
military, I said, you can hunt deer with like a jacketed hollow point. They're designed to expand and tear internal organs as it passes through.
They will do bad damage.
In the military, you can only fire a full metal jacket.
Full metal jacket, yeah. And they still do damage. So, big time. It, like I said, but this here is what they're telling us, basically, in a sense, came out of this, because this is what they're saying he used, and took Charlie's life. And I just, seeing that video, the 50 times I've looked at that, back and forwards, backwards, slow, fast, whatever, to try to figure that out, I have a lot of issues with that being the bullet that went into him. It's just, it's weird to me. Something is off. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm by no means a weapons expert. Nobody's a weapons expert.
No.
In firearms, there's so many different directions you can go with it. It's like saying someone's an expert at law or expert in medicine.
Nope.
Expert in science or physics. It's just there's too many specialties within that. But I know enough to be dangerous. I know quite a bit. But
that's what I know enough. Yeah. Definitely.
And no, I'm not a hunter. Never did. Never will. I just like punching holes through paper. That's fun.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I used to when I was younger. I have them now for, just to protect my home.
Yeah, 7.62 by 51 is 308. It's called 7.62 NATO is what it's called.
That one, yeah.
And by the way, the digits, the 0.62, that's bullet, the projectile portion of the bullet's diameter.
Yeah.
And that's in if you did it in US measure, it'd be 0.308. So just over three tenths,
Right.
So roughly just under a third of an inch. And then
but William Tardy says they're both
on the very left. They're both 308. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the jack or the 100%. The damage comes from this part here.
Yeah. And the 5.56, that the smallest bullet on the very left, that's again, that's this bullet's, the projectile portion of the bullet's diameter, 5.56 millimeter. In inches, that's 0.223. So just under a quarter inch.
Right.
And then the second portion of the measure, 5.56 by 45 being the length, that kind of represents how much powder is behind it, pushing, the projectile. So on the very far right with that 7.62 by 63, 63 millimeters length casing. So yeah, quite big. Quite substantially larger than the other 7.62 by 51.
Yes, definitely. Most definitely.
Anyway, thanks for throwing
that out there. Thank you for doing that. It's very helpful, and it helps people to understand why, some of the reasons why we're doubting certain things, why we're questioning certain things. 100%.
Yeah.
William says he has an AR chambered in a 7.62 30. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's wow. Really, William? Damn.
So yeah, that would be like
that's the power.
The AK-47.
Yeah, basically. That'll tear up something for sure, William, for sure. Oh, okay, I got you. Annie says, Yeah, there's a lot of issues going on there. It has, Brian. It's definitely been horrible. And I think all of us just want to know the truth, period. And that's truly it, the truth. Just tell the truth. Give the truth and leave it alone. You know what I mean? Move on. It's a sad situation. It's horrible. End of story, horrible. But just tell us the truth about it, please. That's all anybody's ever asked. And the memorial, I keep going back to the memorial. Like I said, I can't play the music of it, folks, because I'll get hit by it. But it's been a beautiful, from what I've seen, it's been a very, very, very beautiful ceremony. Truly. Yeah, it's still going on, still music. I mean, it's very beautiful. Thousands, there's like 100,000 people they're projecting for this now, which I truly understand. I just pray to God they have enough and the right kind of security there. That's all I'm saying. So let's see. Since I can't pull that up still, what else do I have here? We were going to talk about. I had something else of interest. This is something else. I'm kind of interested. There's something a little weird about this too. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm not saying this is a conspiracy or anything that way as of this point, folks. This is just an odd situation.
Breaking news out of Nashua, New Hampshire this morning. A man is under arrest and charged with a deadly shooting at a country club. I'm Jeff Sapperstone. Police say he walked into the Sky Meadow Country Club last night and opened fire, killing one and hurting two others. NBC 10's Robert Goulston joins us live now from Nashua with the very latest. Robert, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Yes, multiple gunshots rang out just as this wedding reception was getting underway. As you can imagine, that turned into a very chaotic scene. Well, now it is a murder investigation. The New Hampshire Attorney General says 23-year-old Hunter Nadeau has been charged with the murder of 59-year-old Robert DeCesar with a handgun. The AG says there is no known connection between the two men. Two other adults were shot and injured, but are expected to be okay. Witnesses say they saw the shooter walk in from the restaurant area at the venue and heard him say something to the effect, "The kids are okay," and "Free Palestine," before the gunfire started.
It was really strange. The one thing I can say is when he was walking across the dance floor, I knew it was the guy because he wasn't dressed up for a wedding. He wasn't dressed up to go to dinner. And for lack of a better explanation, he just looked like a weirdo.
We are trying to keep family members safe. It was pretty. It was weird because everybody drop and roll, with the way this world is going right now with the shooting.
No, critical. No, I know better than that. I'm just saying that's what it is that we all want. That's why we discuss the things we do. But no, I'm not expecting it to happen, bud.
We just wanted to keep the family safe, keep everybody down, and then try to find safe spots.
And Nadeau is charged with second-degree murder, and he will be arraigned tomorrow here in Nashua. The Sheraton here nearby was used as a unification site so that families from that wedding could reunite with their loved ones as that chaotic scene started to wrap up there. But the AG also making clear early on they thought maybe there was a second person involved, but they have ruled that out at this point as far as an active shooter, a second active shooter. They said that they were able to go through surveillance video and rule that out as of right now in the investigation. We are live in Nashua, New Hampshire. Robert Goulston, NBC 10 Boston.
Hang on. So this happened, and the only reason why I think it's odd, well, it's horrible, first off, but it's a wedding at a country club, and this person did not know these people, and they did not know him. It's just weird, and there's too many things happening now, okay? There's a lot of things going on day after day now, and I don't know if there's any relation to any of this stuff, you guys. I'm not saying that there is. I'm just telling you, it's pretty wild, pretty wild.
Victims from the scene. We're told the shooting happened at around 8 o'clock tonight inside the Sky Meadow Country Club. Now, right now, detectives are interviewing dozens of witnesses at a nearby fire station on Spitbrook Parkway in Nashua. Police say there was only one shooter, and they say that person is in custody. Now, we've got some new video from the chopper that was hovering over the scene until police requested it back off just a few minutes ago as police continued their investigation on site, trying to sort out exactly what transpired tonight. The Sky Meadow Country Club is on Mountain Laurels Drive. Now, that's not very far from the Massachusetts border. And at one point tonight, police posted a shelter-in-place order for a neighborhood in Dunstable, Massachusetts, which is just across the state line. Good evening to you, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ken McLeod. Police are just about to give an update on the incident. That should happen sometime during this newscast. We're bringing you live team coverage on this active investigation tonight. Let's go ahead and begin with WBZ's Samantha Cheney. She just spoke to a guest at the wedding there, where they're stationed there at the fire station, I believe, on Spitbrook Parkway. Samantha, what do you got?
Yeah, Ken, we just spoke with a witness who told me she was a friend of the bride. She described this incident as surreal. She said it was like a moment out of a movie, something you never expect to actually have to live through. She says everyone was on the dance floor having a great time when all of a sudden she heard shots fired. She says she ran. She got under a table and hid under a tablecloth, just afraid of what was going to happen next. She says that another guest actually hit that suspect over the head. They saw everyone running, scattering, was just really unsure of what was actually happening. She was afraid for her life. Now, we have some things confirmed by police tonight. Initially, they were searching for 2 shooters, but I can tell you right now that's now been called off. Nashville police, they have confirmed on social media and an officer here on the scene saying that surveillance video actually showed just one shooter opening fire at an event, that wedding that we now know happened inside of the Sky Meadow Country Club tonight, and that person has now been detained. Now, I-Team sources, they tell us that multiple people were shot. That woman that I spoke with, that witness, she says she saw 3 people injured. Somebody looked like they were receiving help as if they were hit by something in their lower back. She wasn't sure if that person was shot or not, but she did see those people there.
So anyway, I'm just showing you that too. And like I said, you guys, yeah, I don't know the exact reason behind it, and I'd be playing the memorial, but like I said, the music and stuff like that, I can't. I'll get clipped for it, and I won't be able to show it to you anyway. Otherwise, I would be showing it. I tried, but there's a lot of music with it. Otherwise, like I said, we would have been watching it. Let me see here. I had a couple other things to, while they're going through all that part of it, to show you at some point. Let's see.
Have you followed, Dago, at all any of the there's 2 hunters, 25 years of age, that went disappearing. They disappeared in Colorado, and they did finally find their bodies.
No, I didn't follow that one at all. I'm sorry.
Who is it? Seahawks fan, I believe, yesterday was sharing that in chat. And yeah, I kind of been following that one, and it turns out, you know, it certainly felt like it would be foul play, but I might be backtracking on that. It looks like there's no signs of trauma on either of the bodies. And according to the weather, I didn't realize this, that there was a really bad front that had moved through that area, and it dropped below freezing, apparently, or right at or near freezing, and precipitation and even mixed precip, even in the form of snow a little bit, which I didn't realize that Colorado started getting that kind of weather.
They do pretty early on. I have friends that live there. It starts snowing there way before you expect it would here.
Yeah, if that's the case, well, I do backtrack. If there's no trauma on the bodies, it could start to me feel as if what the findings are going to be is that they maybe passed away from hypothermia exposure.
Elements to the exposure to elements, yeah, possibly. Yeah, I didn't follow. I heard about it, but I never really got a chance to jump on it.
Which is crazy when there's 2 together. When it's one individual, that can happen, and it probably happens all too often. But there's 2, experienced woodsmen apparently.
Yeah,
together.
that's
So
something.
yeah, that's
Something caused it to happen to begin with, and then they probably got, or something must have happened at that point, and then maybe the elements is what got them in the end. Truly, in my opinion. Interesting though, definitely interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I know they keep playing all this music, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get clipped, like hit by it and taken down. That's why I haven't been playing it. But she's saying everybody else is playing it. I don't know. Well, hang on here a minute, because there was a couple other things I planned on throwing in here today too. So hold on. If I can still find them. If not, I can try it, but I just don't want it to get the video pulled down. I planned on running the part where they were talking and stuff because I didn't think I'd have any issues with that. Where is the other stuff here? No, that's too long. I was going to show something Andrew Myers had put out too. It was interesting, I thought. Oh, I might. Let me see here real quick. I don't know. I haven't seen Willie in a while. He messaged me the other day and said he was good, but
yeah, I agree, Canadian Cat Lady. I'm not ready for snow either.
no, a little too soon for that yet. And YouTube's rules, Mittens. Nothing to do with me. It's YouTube's rules. I wish I could get around it most of the time. Willie, I think he might just be taking a break because there's nothing really happening with the Idaho case right now, and for him to put anything out on. It's the only thing I can think of. Tara's comments. Oh, I didn't even see. Yeah, no, I get now what you're saying. Okay. Oh, really, Matt? I'm curious. Let's see what we got real quick. Yeah, they're still playing some music. I just, like I said, I'm not taking the chance of getting clipped on it because I still have one that I'm working off right now.
Willie was shut down?
Sorry about that. What'd you say?
Annie Ruler says
Really?
Willie was shut down.
What the hell did he do? I'll have to message him and ask him. Yeah, I was gonna run it, but you know, like I said, I'm not taking that chance right now. That's all. I'll have to message Willie and find out if he's okay. He messaged me the other day and said everything was good, but that was it. Yeah, he's playing it too. Well, whatever. So be it. What the hell was I about to? Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. 1 second. We're almost out of here anyway, you guys. For those of you, you don't have to stay in here if you want to go watch that. Please do. To show some support. I'll be done here shortly. Anyway, I just want to see what this is about. You said it was on Twitter, Matt? I'm curious to see what he said. I've been following a lot of that cash stuff, so interestingly enough.
Well, I'll hop out. Dago, thanks for sharing those today.
Oh, no, thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you very much.
It's nice to have a day when we don't cover anything Idaho 4, but speaking of that only and not going into it, the last time we spoke of it, we were talking about doing a little homework and figuring out something. And I have, if you know what I'm talking about, that's great. If not, it can be a surprise and I can share them with you next time. It had to do with Jules' reaction to, Christie and all that. But I figured it all out and I have the answers, and I have, when the time is right, I can share that with everyone, and it'll be interesting. I assure you.
Sure. Maybe later on this afternoon or early this evening, maybe we'll see.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. So yeah, if you were going to put that on your list of to-dos to go sleuthing and figure out those answers, you don't need to. I have them. So save you the time and the work.
Appreciate that. Good stuff,
right,
bro. Yes.
All right. I'll hop out and say goodbye to everybody in chat. And thanks again, Dago, as always.
Sounds great, brother. Thank you as always. All right, Matt, what did you say? He says, as director of the FBI, I'm committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead into its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has... Oh, shit. Let me show it to you. I guess this is a newer statement that Patel put out. All right. Is this what you were talking about, Matt? But our efforts extend beyond initial findings. We are examining every facet of his assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location. Oh, that's interesting. Including from the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text messages, confession, and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot, bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed at potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10th. That is interesting, Matt. How about that one, Eddie? Some details are known today while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus is to complete this investigation and deliver justice to protect the integrity of the investigation and subsequent prosecution. We cannot release every piece of information we have to the public right now. We will ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate moment. Regarding the specific details, such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off its transponder after departing from an airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot and consultation with the FAA, we determined the transponder was not turned off. Incomplete flight data in rural areas caused the apparent gap. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served, and our investigation into the assassination will continue until every question is answered. That is interesting that he even brought that up. Good point, Matt. Thanks for telling me about that, bud. The fact that he threw that statement in there alone is enough for me to go thank you, because it's obvious that they know the questions that are being asked, you guys, without a doubt. Okay? So, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Always appreciate you, Eddie. And Matt, very, very helpful, my friend. Appreciate that so much. Looks like there were 7 involved. What are we talking about in the Kirk thing, Tara? I've heard multiple numbers, but definitely not just one. Okay, definitely not just one. Yeah, I was getting ready to do that. I was going to do that too. Give me 1 second, by the way. Thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate that, bud. Very much appreciated. Hold on a minute here. All right, hold on. So this was actually the next piece we were going to look at before we got out of here for the day. And this involves the Discord situation that went down with this whole thing. I don't know how many of you guys saw this, but I thought it was kind of interesting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Jesse Weber did a whole thing on this and addressed it. It was kind of interesting. So here we go.
On brand new court paperwork. We are talking potential charges. We are talking bail. We are talking now.
Now, just so everybody knows, this was initially 8 days ago. I just hadn't had a chance to share the Discord thing just in case nobody saw it.
Now, a new detailed timeline of events, and we're going to break it down for you in real time. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, so we're doing something very different here on Sidebar. We are breaking down this legal paperwork we just got our hands on in real time. No prep. I'm literally looking at this right now. This is new paperwork that was just filed in connection with the arrest of Tyler James Robinson, the 22-year-old who is suspected of killing Charlie Kirk. Now, what do I have in my hands on? I have an affidavit of probable cause. I have an order from a judge denying him bail, and then a public safety assessment report. I'm going to break all of this down in real time. He hasn't been officially charged yet, but this is what he has been booked on. I want to bring on trial attorney Rich Schoenstein, who's going to break this down with me in real time. So we're both looking at this. Rich, good to see you. By the way,
Good to see you.
Great background. Is that real or is that AI? I mean, it looks like a really
no. This is my real brother's real house in Columbus, Ohio.
It looks good. Looks good. Okay. So what I want to do first is go into this affidavit of probable cause, which led to his arrest. He is charged, and we'll break down these charges. He is going to be charged, or at least he's been booked right now, on aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, capital first-degree felony conduct. Before we go any further, Rich, so basically, this is what he could be charged with. This is what prosecutors could be seeking. It could be modified in some way, but at this point, this seems to fall in line with what the allegations are.
Right. I mean, basically, the charges here are murder, illegal discharge of a firearm in public where he did it, and obstruction of justice, which I think means flight. And as you say, there are other possible crimes that might or might not be added later.
And so let me read through this whole probable cause statement. And it says, I believe there is probable cause to charge the defendant with these charges. And I believe this is from an arresting officer, although I'll see at the end. Brian Davis, officer's name. This is in the county of Utah, state of Utah. Okay. I believe there is probable cause to charge the defendant with these charges because the following information was obtained by your affiant from police officers, multiple video recordings.
That's one of the biggest questions, Irene. Did somebody put him up to it, or did he do it on his own? We don't know.
Recordings posted on social media.
Or did he do it at all?
Websites, Utah Valley University campus surveillance cameras, and those who witnessed the incident. On September 10th, 2025, Charles James Kirk was at the Utah Valley University UVU campus in Orem, Utah for a political event. Mr. Kirk is a conservative political activist who was scheduled to speak in an event in the courtyard area on the UVU campus. The courtyard area is to the west of the Low C Center building. According to video recordings, Charles was wearing a white t-shirt and dark pants, sitting under a white canopy in a courtyard of the campus facing to the east. The event was attended by hundreds of individuals. Charles was surrounded by people with multiple individuals to his left, right, and rear and front of the canopy. Behind the canopy was a walkway used for access to various parts of the university. Charles was holding a microphone and speaking to a crowd. While speaking into the microphone, a loud gunshot was heard at approximately 12:23 hours, and Charles appeared to have been hit in the neck. Now, that's interesting because I kind of did a separate sidebar on this about there was speculation whether or not he was hit in the chest and it ricocheted into his neck, but here he says it's been hit in the neck. Blood was seen coming out of the left side of his neck as he fell over to his left. Charles was transported to Panagos Regional Hospital in Orem. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Charles was pronounced deceased at the hospital. Investigators reviewed the Utah Valley University surveillance cameras. While reviewing the surveillance cameras, investigators observed an individual on the rooftop of the Losi Center building on the UVU campus at the time of the shooting. Hereafter, the unidentified individual will be referred to as suspect. Based on surveillance camera footage, suspect appears to be a white male with dark-colored hair, wearing a dark-colored hat, sunglasses, a long-sleeved black shirt with a picture of an American flag and an eagle printed on the shirt, dark-colored jeans, and white-gray shoes with white-colored shoelaces. The shoes appear to be consistent with Chuck Taylor Converse-style shoes. We've been following this story from the beginning. And, you know, one of the reasons that we can do this to really dive into these cases and stories is because of the amazing support that we get from our sponsors like Upside. Now, Upside is great. It is a free app that gets cash back when you buy daily essentials. So I pump my gas, I can use Upside. I go out to lunch, I can use Upside. Get something at a convenience store, I can use Upside. And why not get cash back when I do all these things, right? Yes, this is real cash back. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you back on his back. Sidebar, because you'll get an extra 25 cents put on screen, and make sure to use our promo code SIDEBAR because you'll get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon.
Hey, Kent, good to see you here today, Denise. Hope you're doing well.
Carrying a dark-colored backpack on his back. Suspect walks with a distinctive gait. Prior to the shooting, suspect appears to walk with a stiff right leg and a relatively slow pace. Suspect's ability to bend his right leg appears to be restricted. Investigators were able to track suspect's movements on the UVU campus starting at approximately 11:50 hours on September 10th, 2025. At approximately 11:50 hours, a UVU surveillance camera first captured suspect walking across a grassy area north of Campus Drive at approximately 800 West. By the way, we knew that there were surveillance footage, but now we're really getting this in depth. A suspect walked south through the parking lot and approached a pedestrian tunnel that runs underneath Campus Drive. Before entering the tunnel, suspect paused at the top of the stairs and pulled out what appeared to be a cell phone from his right pocket using his right hand at approximately 11:53 hours. Suspect eventually put what appeared to be a cell phone back in his right pants pocket using his right hand. Surveillance captured suspect making his way toward the Losi Center. At approximately 12:02 hours, suspect was recorded walking on the north side of the Losi Center building, walking with the same gait as observed earlier. Suspect entered the Losi Center building through a set of doors on the southeast corner of the Losi Center building at approximately 12:15 hours. Yeah, let me just change it here. Suspect was observed walking up to the stairs that led to the common area adjacent to the Losi Center building. Suspect walked to a short concrete wall that separates the common area from the rooftop of the Losi Center building. At approximately 12:17 hours, suspect climbed over the short wall and appeared to crouch down on the north side of the wall on the rooftop. At approximately 12:22 hours, suspect stood up and started running across the rooftop of the Losi Center building. The notable limb from previous surveillance was absent. Suspect ran to the west side of the rooftop and appeared to scoot along the rooftop area as he got closer to the edge of the rooftop. At approximately 12:22 hours, suspect laid down in a position consistent with a prone shooting position near the edge of the rooftop and appeared to be facing west in the direction of the courtyard area. The rooftop of the Losi Center building overlooks the courtyard area where the event featuring Charlie Kirk was taking place. The Losi Center building is east of the courtyard area. At approximately 12:23 hours, Charlie Kirk was shot. At approximately 12:23 hours, surveillance shows that suspect stood up suddenly from the edge of the rooftop and sprinted north on the rooftop of the Losi Center building. Suspect ran to the northeast corner of the building and approached the edge of the rooftop. Suspect placed a dark-colored item on the rooftop and proceeded to lower himself off the rooftop. Suspect dropped off the rooftop onto the grass below. Suspect ran north near the parking lot to the east of the Losi Center. At approximately 12:24 hours, suspect ran north across the Campus Drive road. Suspect appeared to be carrying an item whose identity...
Wow. Look at that. 35 months, Mama Bear. Plus, it's probably been Leonard, so it's probably like 36, 40 months. That's crazy. Good to see you, Mama Bear. Congratulations. Happy day anniversary. And, of course, we love you.
It is not clear from the surveillance, so whether or not it was the weapon. The area to the north of Campus Drive Road where suspect crossed over consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulge OWO, what's this?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, catch," an up arrow symbol, right arrow symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." Before we go any further, so Rich, this is quite consistent with not only what we heard from the press conference earlier today, but it is consistent with video footage that is circulated on social media. What is standing out to you about this so far?
Well, I've seen this video footage, as you say, it's been making the rounds, and he walks with a stiff gait, presumably because he has a rifle down his pants. He gets on top of the building, he takes the rifle out of his pants, and now he's able to walk more freely, and he crouches down and fires. And there are these casings. I'm not well versed enough to know what exactly those casings mean, what they're references to. I see that I've seen reports that they might have some connection to video games, but I don't know. But obviously, they're of interest to the investigators. They have a lot of footage. And, we live in a world where if you're out walking around, you're on a campus, you're in a neighborhood, you're on film somewhere, you're on video somewhere, you can't go anywhere. And they've pieced all of that together to show this suspect getting on top of the building and apparently firing a rifle.
And the fact that so much of this is documented, how many times do we cover cases where there is no surveillance footage, let alone of the attack? We all saw the shooting. I mean, we all saw it, unfortunately. But to apparently track the shooter's movements, they talked about it in a press conference yesterday, but to actually have it detailed, that is, and we know that the footage was, we know that the image of this person of interest, this suspect, was released yesterday. That is very important for prosecutors.
Yeah. Well, and so listen, this is a very high profile, very horrible crime. This is an all hands on deck situation. They went door to door to get any possible video they can. We've seen cases where they investigate too late and the video is lost. So here they got it right away. They were there the day of, the day after, going around the neighborhood, pulling together whatever video glimpses they could that might shed some light on this situation. And it paid off. They got pictures, they got video.
And they also they say investigators also discovered a shoe impression on the northeast corner rooftop edge of the Losi Center building. The shoe impression was located in the vicinity where suspect climbed down from the rooftop. The shoe impression is consistent with the shoe sole characteristics of a Converse Chuck Taylor shoe. They also talked yesterday about forearm impressions, palm prints. I believe that has been sent out for testing as well. They are probably looking to see if it matches up to Robinson. One thing to note here, and I was talking about this with Ellie Honig yesterday, this is before there was an arrest, legal liability. One of the things you have to wonder is whether or not the university, and you are a civil trial attorney, whether the university faces any liability here. In the sidebar I did yesterday, there were concerns, there were questions of reports about maybe a lax in security. Were the tickets being checked? Was there a lack of actual, security detectors? This appeared to be on the outside, though, right? So on the rooftop. Does the school face any liability here, you think?
Well, potentially. This is going to be heavily scrutinized. Every facet of this is going to be heavily scrutinized to determine if anybody else is responsible, anybody else is involved, and anybody else is potentially at fault from should he have been noticed getting to campus, getting up on top of a building? Should somebody have seen that? Was there adequate security for an event that not only had a prominent speaker, but had hundreds of students and other people in attendance? Was there adequate security? I don't know the answers to any of those questions, but those questions are going to be asked.
And one of the things we talked about yesterday was not only a potential wrongful death or negligence lawsuit filed potentially by Charlie Kirk's family, but people around there who had to witness this very traumatic event. This is when we always talk about infliction of emotional distress. I want to move on to that, though. I want to go back to this. So it says, on the evening of September 11th, 2025, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at UVU. Again, very consistent with what we heard from the press conference today. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with the surveillance images. Wow, Rich, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and sort of, if it's true, surprising that he didn't change his clothes more quickly.
And then it says investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, 2025. And in conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed the roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon, Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages, I'm changing here, the content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact. Tyler stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mention that he had changed outfits. Based on the evidence detailed in this statement, I believe there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson committed the crimes of aggravated murder by shooting Charlie Kirk in a circumstance that put many around him at grave risk of death, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice for moving and hiding the rifle believed to have been used in the shooting. Okay, first thing I want to go through here, Rich, now you see why he's being charged with aggravated murder. There's an enhancement statute that's listed. They're basically saying that the reason that you can get this as, I believe, a capital offense, right, the highest offense in Utah, would be this was it amounted to a danger to others in that crowd, even though there was only one shot fired at Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I think that is why that's in there. And also it goes to the issue of bail. There might be other ways to enhance this in terms of the capital nature of the crime. I'd have to look at the particular statute at issue, but the fact that it seems to have been politically motivated might be pertinent as well. But yes, firing essentially into a crowded event, very dangerous,
One of
and
the things
probably gets you enhanced.
And one of the things I talked about with Ellie yesterday was the idea of maybe potentially a terrorism quite charge. What was the purpose
Right.
of this? Was it to
That
silence other people? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said political. If the facts are that the purpose of this was because of what Charlie Kirk had to say and an effort to silence people of that same viewpoint, then it could be viewed as a form of terrorism.
And this is similar to Mangione. One of the things, the way prosecutors have tried to enhance that charge is, even though he's accused of just shooting and killing Brian Thompson, it was an inherently dangerous activity that presented a risk to others. There was the nearby bystander. This was in the middle of a public street. So this is what it seems to be consistent.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about how this is similar to Mangione, and I've been thinking about all of the people who support Mangione because they didn't like the person he allegedly shot. And I've been thinking that this is where that line of thinking gets you. It gets more people killed.
And are you also thinking about potentially jury nullification if this advances towards formal charges and this advances towards a jury trial, whether or not it will be difficult to get a jury because of, unfortunately, I mean, just look at what we're seeing online right now about people kind of, I don't know what the word is, minimizing the idea that a human being was shot in cold blood.
Yeah, there's some of that online, but my thinking is you have a lot better chance of getting jury nullification where the victim was the CEO of an insurance company than
Sure.
where the victim was a young, famous advocate, even though there are a lot of people who didn't like his advocacy. I find it hard to believe you would get a jury nullification in that case. I mean, I hope very much you don't, of course.
And when we talk about that, is basically a jury decides the case not based on the facts of the evidence, but their own personal opinions, their emotions.
Yeah.
And it does become a question of jury selection too, about how you get a fair and impartial jury. We are going a little down the road here because one of the things I just, this amplifies it too. And there's a couple more documents I want to get to, but it amplifies people stepped up, right? They reported this to police. You have an alleged confession. Not only are you talking about particularly important witnesses during this potential legal process, this trial, but if it wasn't for them, would he still potentially be on the loose, assuming he did this?
So we don't know. We don't know if the law enforcement effort would have honed in on him because they did a video footage. They had some impressions. They might have over time been able to find him. But yes, a family member, and it sounds like there's a roommate who was helpful in the investigation. That, at a minimum, has allowed this to happen a lot quicker than it might have otherwise happened.
So we have a couple more documents here. One is an order that has been signed by Judge Sean R. Howell. It is an order to hold without bail based on the affirmation of Brian Davis, again, the arresting officer who I mentioned before. The undersigned magistrate finds that probable cause existed for the arrest without a warrant of Tyler James Robinson. The current offense is a capital felony, and the court finds substantial evidence to support the charge. Therefore, the court orders that Tyler James Robinson is to be held without bail. And just to couple that, there is a public safety assessment report. Kind of looks like this, okay? And it talks about how the charge of aggravated murder qualifies for what they say is PRL 5 in red. You go down, PRL 5 says, if statutory requirements are met, hold without bail. If released, maximum conditions recommended and or monetary bail. So they believe that this is serious enough that he should be held without bail.
Right. And I reviewed that assessment, and he has no priors, according to that, no prior convictions, criminal or misdemeanor. So really, there's nothing else that would have compelled holding him without bail, except the seriousness of the crime. And if you're going to be accused of shooting somebody in a crowd in the fashion that happened here, you're going to get held without bail. There's no way he would have gotten bail.
Yeah, you're right. It says risk factors: age of current arrest 22, current violent offense, yes, current violent offense and 20 years old or younger, no, pending charge at the time of the offense, no, prior misdemeanor conviction, no, prior felony conviction, no, prior conviction, no, prior violent offense, 0, prior failure to appear in past 2 years, 0, prior failure to appear older than 2 years, no, prior sentence to incarceration, no. You know, one of the things that's interesting about this is he is not the first criminal suspect to be charged with the most serious offense that we have on the books, right? And this is his first apparent crime. Isn't that always shocking to you? You know, we talk about it's not always, a graduation to murder or somebody has a criminal history. Sometimes when people commit a crime, it's the worst one yet.
It happens too often to be shocking to me anymore. There is no there is no dependable way to know who's going to commit a crime like this. You can't base it on the number of times they've been in trouble with the law or their socioeconomic background or any of the specific traits or their race or their religion. There's nothing that would really tell you somebody would do something so heinous and so out of the norm of human behavior as this kind of crime.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Before we wrap things up, were you expecting an arrest this soon? I mean, it was very interesting when the press conference happened yesterday. I was surprised they had that much information about the suspected shooter, right? You know, they talked about the timeline, they talked about the surveillance footage, the palm prints, and then, you know, there was some misinformation or confusing information about who was being apprehended and when, but I think it was a little over 30 hours that they were able to make an arrest.
I didn't know what to expect. And I'll tell you this, Jesse, this is the first public comments I've made about this situation. I haven't posted about it on media. I haven't been on YouTube or anywhere else about it, partly because I didn't feel like I had enough information to know what was happening. And I saw a lot of people speculating on who must have done this or why they must have done it, or what type of person it must have been. And I found that to be absolutely outrageous. And I still don't have enough information to know for sure if this is the right person or why this crime was committed. But we do have a lot more information. So I had no expectation of when this person would be caught because I didn't know if it was somebody local. I didn't know if it was somebody foreign. I didn't know who it was. And I hope they found the right person.
There's still a lot of questions about this, the timing of it, when he was shot, how he was shot, this suspect. So we're in the beginning stages of this. And again, we might be breaking down things in real time just like this because it just came out. Rich Schoenstein, thank you so much for taking the time. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jesse.
All right, everybody, that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts.
Okay, you guys, so there was that, and let me check one more thing here. Before we get out of here. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'll let you guys get out of here. Most of you guys probably want to watch that anyway and concentrate on that. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't play it on here, but the music made me nervous and I didn't want to get hit for that. So I'm going to try to be back in here a little bit later on for those of you that are interested. And if not, if I don't see you, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Wait a minute. Okay. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us today. Of course, very much appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to Jesse and Eddie for joining me today as well. Again, don't forget, folks, to love yourselves and love each other. Please don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks again so very much, folks. Bye now.
Splattered like rain, coffee stains tell stories of pain, spoons clinking whispers in the night, shadows dance beneath the neon light. Who drank the poison, who lit the flame? Everyone's guilty, no one takes the blame. True crime cafe where secrets bleed. louder the walls close in. Every scene tastes like original sin. Who's the killer? Who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start? What's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth of bullet, truth of need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Who's the killer? Who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start? What's the end?